In the 21st century, it is getting hard out here if you want to try to live one of those glamorous lifestyles, and everybody's chasing that. It is getting hard out here to be able to do that. And first, remember we were telling you all these people out here, everybody's trying to get a whole pension. They are trying to maintain because they got you believing that they're doing something that they're not doing. They got you believing they're doing something that they're not doing. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, case in point here, you have Miss Draya Michelle. And folks have been talking about that being scandalous there for a while. But there's something else that's happened out there in Marion, Los Angeles. Something else has occurred. And what has happened is that she's filed a lawsuit against her ex-boyfriend. Now, we say ex-boyfriend because, of course, for those of you who are aware of it and whatnot, she's got a current boyfriend. He was 21. She was 38. She's now 39. So this has got big dummy written all over it. And some fellas, when they sit up here, fellas, listen to me. Take this very seriously. When you got a chick who is prone to go to them people, just remember, at some point, she's going to go to them people on you. So keep that in mind. But anyway, that's the fella that's her current boyfriend. 21 or 22 years old while she's about to smack 40 like a bug on the windshield. This was her previous boyfriend, and there are so many lessons to be learned here, particularly from him. Now, a lot of folk are talking about this story right now. A lot of them talking about Draya Michelle in this story right now. But I've been looking high and low, and I didn't see anybody who actually posted the documents. Now, that's what I was looking for because I don't go off of speculation. I'm the guy who goes and gets the paperwork. So I contacted Los Angeles Superior Court. And after a whole bunch of going round and round and paying some money here, I was able to get my hands on the documents. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into that. All right. I've already reviewed it and everything to make sure I'm not doxing anything in this regard here. Even though it does have a street address on here, it's for an LLC. And to go a little bit further here, even though it does have a street address on there, this is as close as you can get to the actual street address. So it's out in one of those big exclusive gated communities with a guardhouse and everything. So you can't even get in there if you don't live there. And yeah, for a chick who's on her way to the discount bin, I'm pretty sure that this is the very definition of irresistible when you get off into that. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And I want you to keep this in mind because there's a life lesson to be learned here, especially for the fellas here who didn't take this seriously. There's a life lesson to be learned. Now, as you can see here, line 8, on or about August 2022. Now, keep that date in mind. Dates on this thing here, there are 2 dates in particular, but dates on here are very important. On or about August 12th, 2022, Mr. Taylor, that is her ex-boyfriend, although that gets sticky and sloppy here in a moment. Mr. Taylor, through his LLC, purchased the property. Now, this is what the lawsuit here says. Purchased the property for Ms. Howard to take residency with her children.
Boy, what in the hell's the matter with you?
These fellas get millions of dollars, and the problem is predatory females look for a dumb dude who money doesn't mean anything to him. So he's not thinking about it. And so he just figures the money is endless and he just walks off into bad and stupid situations. And no, those are not his kids. No, those are kids she had with a dude before she got with him. And it wasn't kids, it was one kid, now it's two. No, don't worry, it gets worse. Trust me, it gets worse. Ms. Howard and Mr. Taylor were in a romantic relationship, and Mr. Taylor promised that any contributions she made towards either improving or satisfying the mortgage on the property will be applied towards the purchase value of the property when she decides she wishes to transfer title. So that's the first statement they make here. On or about August 23rd, 2023. I'm sorry, October 23rd, 2023. That's a little over a year later. Ms. Howard and Mr. Taylor memorialized the terms of their oral agreement by drafting a residential lease agreement with an option to buy agreement, collectively the memorialization. The memorialization provided that any payments that Ms. Howard made towards the property would be credited towards her down payment should she exercise the option to purchase the property anytime between November 1st, 2023 through October 31st, 2025. It also stated that Ms. Howard's first payment will become consideration for the right to exercise the option to purchase the property. A true and correct copy of the memorialization is attached as Exhibit C and Exhibit D. The memorialization was not signed by either party. What? Did y'all get that? Now it says that they drafted a memorialization. They drafted an agreement. He goes through all this talking here, and then the next thing here says, now the memorialization wasn't signed by either party, but verbally and by conduct acknowledged by both. I hear some people say some things that are absolutely shockingly incorrect. For those of you who have not had to sue people and deal with these things, please be clear, folks. An oral agreement is legally binding. Now, it's much better if you have a written agreement, but an oral agreement is legally binding. It's harder to prove because it's your word versus their word, but folks, let's be very clear. An oral agreement is legally binding. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. Doesn't matter if so many folks want to weasel their way through life. A verbal agreement is legally binding. Yes, it is. The real thing is, can you substantiate the terms of your verbal agreement? When you write it down, we can all see what you are agreeing to there. But outside of that, that's a different matter. No, sir. It doesn't matter what the transaction. Folks, okay, people who don't know, go get a lawyer and a clue. I don't have time to stop here tonight. No, you're wrong. Just stop it. All these status correction people, and it's a mess. You go try that in court and tell them, yes, it does. That's why the terms are important. But if you agree to it, you can be held to that. It goes on to say here that the memorialization was not signed by either party, but verbally and by conduct acknowledged by both. The lack of formalities stemmed from the fact that Ms. Howard and Mr. Taylor were in an intimate relationship at the time of contract formation. Moreover, Ms. Howard made substantial improvements and payments to the defendants in reliance on Ms. Taylor's promise that she would acquire ownership over the property and that she reserved the right to exercise this option anytime before October 31st, 2025. So you're already looking at problems there. It's not great. It's not great. especially when you start looking at dates. So we're going to go on to the next date because as bad as it's been, it gets worse. On the next page here, as you can see, it talks about the purchase price of it, the purchase agreement. And she approached him she offered to pay approximately $2.8 million with the escrow closing on October 31st, 2025. A true and correct copy of the purchase agreement is attached as Exhibit E. On or about November 7th, 2023, Mr. Taylor counteroffered through his realtor agent that he wanted immediate proof of funds or a mortgage approval letter from a lender to substantiate Ms. Howard's ability to purchase the property. They also demanded that she pay $19,803 per month.
Damn!
For the remainder of her stay on the property. And finally, they promised she could purchase the property for approximately $3.2 million. More specifically, $3,209,723.06, which includes the deduction for 2 rental payments Ms. Howard had made and the 6% discount as stated in the counter offer. So she's hopping in bed with this dude doing all kinds of reckless stuff here, and she needs a place to stay, as I told you all before. So he's the one who acquired the property. Now she's like, okay, can I finesse my way in? Additionally, Mr. Taylor promised that any other financial contributions that Ms. Howard made towards the property would be credited towards the purchase value of the property. So what she's saying is that any money that she spent while she's living there, that's supposed to go towards deducting the cost off of that purchase price. Now, on or about January 12th, 2024, Ms. Howard accepted the defendant's offer by providing them with a mortgage pre-approval letter. She also accepted purchasing the property for approximately $3.2 million and agreed to paying $19,813 per month, provided it would be deducted from the final purchase price as they had originally agreed. Formalizing the final contract, she further informed them that between September 2023 and January 2024, she had spent a total of $270,000 in improving the property, which also needed to be deducted from the final sale price. Now, folks, the reason why I bring this up is because there are people out there saying things. There are folks out there saying things. They're reading from articles and they're assuming things, and the articles are saying things and trying to summarize things that tend to be misleading. That's why it's important for you to actually read the documents themselves so you can actually see what it actually says. And I think some of you, from some of the articles you all might have read, you can already spot that there are some misconceptions that people might be operating under or some mistaken notions based on some of the stuff they've been reading. So it goes on to say here that Ms. Howard continued to perform her duties under the contract by paying the agreed upon lease payments with the understanding they would be applied to the final purchase price, which the defendants accepted. Moreover, the improvements she made to the property not only increased the value of the property, but embodied her stylistic preferences, truly making the property unique to her. Surprisingly, defendants are now threatening to evict Ms. Howard from the property where she currently resides with her 3 minor children.
What?
Furthermore, they are refusing to sell the property to her despite the substantial improvements she has invested in the property, believing in good faith she would eventually own the property and thereby unjustly benefiting the defendants. So I want to go into that here for just a moment. On this page here, you can see 2 important dates. Date number 1, November 7th, 2023. Date number 2, January 12th, 2024. That's kind of important when you start taking a look at articles. And when you start seeing articles and the dates on which Draya Michelle was running around with her new boyfriend, Jalen Green. There are articles going back as far as last summer. And then when you take a look at these dates, when you take a look at the date of January 12, 2024, well, that's kind of messy, especially when you consider that Draya Michelle been pregnant since at least March of 2024. Probably before that, by the way. That's when she made the announcement.
Damn!
And she's saying, oh, I'm pregnant by this dude over here. Very interesting. I'm pregnant by the new fella I'm laying up with, who is not the guy who owns the house that she's living in.
What?
So let me get this straight, because the lawsuit bears this out. This is not conjecture. This is not speculation. She is living in the house being paid for that the lawsuit says Tyrod Taylor bought for her and the little bastard she come running up in the house with. That he paid for this house for her. It says that he paid for this house for her. He purchased the property for Miss Howard to take residency with her children. Because hoes are great in bed, and he said, you know what? I think that JJ is worth a multi-million-dollar house in Los Angeles. That's what he said in 2022. 2024, now he's having buyer's remorse. But by the way, this dude sat up here and paid for this house for her, and he figured he got so much excess wealth. So, come on in here, bring you and all them kids. What Captain Saberho says, we'll feed and clothe them kids. Now she's up in the house. You're in California, so kicking her out is not going to be easy under normal circumstances. Now she's making a legal claim to this house, and she is in your house pregnant by another man. Let me get this straight. You done paid millions of dollars to get this house. She is up in your house pregnant by some little young dude from Houston in your house that you're paying for. And she's sitting there pregnant as she can damn well be, and now telling them, yeah, y'all need to leave me alone. I don't know if she's pregnant now and had the kids, because they mentioned the kids, but whether she's pregnant and had the kids, she's like, yeah, that's right. I'm blowing them out right here in your house, and you paying for it. And oh yeah, by the way, I ain't going nowhere. By the way, yeah, I've been laying there with another dude. I'm pregnant by another dude. I'm in your house. And by the way, nigga, I ain't going nowhere. I'm sitting right here. Matter of fact, if you try to get me out, I'm going to lawyer up. Which is exactly what she did. She lawyered up. And now, here you are. And he's like, oh, can we get this heifer out of here? Because, hell, it's a raw deal now. Well, you're right, it's a raw deal, but you're kind of stuck with it. Now you're kind of stuck with the deal. He wants to get out the game, but the game got him. All right, page 3 of the lawsuit, by the way, giving you all the comprehensive analysis that you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. I hadn't seen anybody who actually posted the documents anywhere, TMZ and the rest of them. I haven't seen anyone who actually posted the documents. So for those of you who've been hearing the story and never actually saw the documents, by the way, this is what the lawsuit actually says. Now, first cause of action, breach of contract. Miss Howard incorporates by reference all the allegations set forth above as though fully set forth in this cause of action. So this is their first claim, is what they're saying. Miss Howard accepted the defendant's counteroffer to sell her the property for $3.2 million and adequate consideration of $19,813 in monthly payments were exchanged. Miss Howard performed her duties under the contract by paying rent to the LLC and making significant improvements to the property, with the understanding that she will eventually own the property and any financial contributions would be deducted from the $3.2 million sale price. The defendants, in turn, accepted the monthly payments per the agreement. The LLC breached the contract by refusing to sell her the property as agreed and caused emotional distress.
What?
You know where this is going. By threatening to evict her even after she complied with their request to provide them with proof that she was able to purchase the property, and covering the defendant's mortgage with her monthly payments of $19,813. As a result of defendant's breach, Ms. Howard was forced to do a hard credit check to acquire a pre-approval for mortgage from her lender, negatively impacting her credit score, even though she was promised she had until 2025 to exercise her option to purchase the property. She was also lured into making mortgage payments on behalf of the LLC and expended substantial resources improving the property under the false pretense that she would eventually own the property. Therefore, Ms. Howard is entitled to damages in an amount to be determined at trial.
Damn!
So understand what they're saying. They are not, we're going to get to the rest of it in a moment. She's not only saying that she needs remuneration, reimbursement, whatever, for that she needs to be honored for what she's paid. She's also saying that, by the way, I also want damages. I've been emotionally negatively impacted. My credit score has been negatively impacted. So I don't just want the house. I want the house plus damages to be determined when we get to court. So to anybody thinking that she's just suing for a house, no, she is not. She's saying that I'm laying up with this other fella out here, this little young dude, dumb as hell, and I'm pregnant by him, and I'm going to bring him and his kids into your house that you paying for, and you've made it so easy. You've made it so easy for me to do this so I can remain living the high life in Los Angeles. You greased the skids, you put your money up front, now I can just ease on in. That's what she's saying now. Yeah, well, the sex is a big ass difference 1 year can make. 2022, he buys the house. 2023, she laying up with another little dude. 2024, she wants you out from up under the house. But now the game now is that basically, okay, I want to tie this up real quick early on. What I believe is that she never had the ability to pay for this house. She doesn't have the income. She doesn't have the money to pay for it. I'd like to validate any mortgage documents, but she didn't really have the ability to pay for the house. She's sitting on some money, but not enough to get this damn thing and keep doing what she's doing. So she makes this untenable ass situation. He's the one get the house. She got him to commit to it. And just like Diddy's hoes and Kanye and Tiger Woods, there's some scumbag lawyer out there who's willing to take the case. And so they go up here and say, okay, you can't afford the house, we'll sue him. So he'll either have to give up the house or he's going to give you, he'll be sued in damages enough money for you to buy the house. So she wormed her way in, pregnant by another dude, sitting up in your house, knowing this ain't going to work. So she's going to have, her plan is to have your house. She got kids with this other fella, so the child support getting ready to roll in even bigger than it has been. And you've greased the skids to get her into this house. Now it's going to be part of a legal action. She's going to be living in the house, not making any payments, by the way. So while this whole thing is being sorted out, she won't be required to make any payments. Not anymore, she won't. And she gets to sit there in that house while she grinds you in court and is suing you for damages and every damn thing else. And what she'll probably try to sue for is a couple of $1 million. And isn't that very convenient? That's enough money to pay for that house. Ain't that something? Okay. Next, second cause of action. Breach of implied in fact contract and or part oral and part implied contract. Contact, it says contact, I think you mean contract. Oh, they should have proofread this, her attorneys, okay. From the law offices of Street Corner University. Ms. Howard incorporates by reference all the allegations set forth above as though fully set forth in this cause of action. And that's when it gets to the next part here. It says Ms. Howard not only paid rent to the LLC, but significantly improved the property. Boys, they are really hammering on that she improved the property thing, aren't they? I mean, they're really improved. They're really relying on that. They're going heavy on that one. Significantly improved the property in reliance on defendant's promise that she would eventually acquire ownership over the property. Mr. Taylor also demanded that Ms. Howard provide hard proof from the approved lender and or her financial statement that she had the ability to acquire the property when she exercised her option to purchase. The conduct and communication between the parties support the existence of a binding contract, and the material terms are sufficiently and expressly fleshed out. So in other words, we don't have anything tangible to show you that they literally agreed, but you should take all this other stuff as prima facie evidence that they had an agreement that she gets to stay in the house. So old boy has had enough. This chick is pregnant as hell by another dude in his house, and he's like, ho, you got to go. Then she goes to court. Now all of a sudden she wants to go to court. Remember Tiger Woods. That's why I went to that lawsuit page by page to let you fellas know. Fellas, today, if you're a man who's got some resources and some value and some status, you don't even have to make it to marriage anymore. State marriage anymore is not the goalpost. If you got funds, the way it is today is they like, look, the female code of conduct today is, man, if he don't drop it off, sue him and make him knock it off. This is where we at. There'll be a lawyer somewhere who gonna pick up the bill and push this into court and see if they can skin you. But this is where we at. This is where we are. Yeah, she said she paid for some flowers to decorate in front of the house, and I should get the house. That's the proof that I should get the house. It goes on to say here on part 23, the contract was breached when the LLC refused to sell the property to Ms. Howard despite her performance and exercise of her purchase option. Consequently, the LLC has been unjustly enriched, since the mutual understanding between the parties was that any contribution Ms. Howard made towards the property would be deducted from its purchase value, and her contribution significantly increased the value of the property. Therefore, Ms. Howard is entitled to damages in an amount to be determined at trial. So yet again, she says I've suffered emotional damage. Now she's saying I suffered financial damages. So you got financial and punitive. She's trying to make the case for financial and punitive damages. This is not for the house, people. Anybody who's tried to go over this story with you before, you've only gotten part of the facts. And if you read from other websites that did not show you these documents, and so far I haven't seen a single website that has showed these documents. I'm the only place I've seen that has actually shown the documents. This is not about suing him to get that house. I mean, she wants the house, but she wants the house plus damages. Now, I do mean when I said the house plus damages, because we ain't done yet. Not by a long shot. third cause of action. Yeah, there's a third cause of action. Ms. Howard incorporates by reference and reference all the allegations set forth in this action here. Let me go ahead and slide this up so you all can see this a little bit better here. Where's the second cause of action? Okay, we're on the wrong one. Wrong one. Fourth. There you go. All right, let me go ahead and slide that up so you all can see third cause of action here. Ms. Howard incorporates by reference all the above. At the time that the contract was entered into, the parties mutually understood that Ms. Howard reserved the option to purchase the property until the year 2025. Ms. Howard has exercised this option within the prescribed time. She even provided proof of financial capacity to the defendants that she would be able to purchase this property. Furthermore, she regularly made payments to the LLC pursuant to the contract and significantly improved the property in reliance on Mr. Taylor's promise that all financial contributions would be applied towards the purchase of the property. I'm wondering when Tyrod says she got to get out, because if it was earlier this year before she announced she was pregnant, if he found out she was pregnant, that she wasn't just seeing another dude for a crazy weekend, she's seeing him and pregnant by him and in his house. Yeah, it's like, okay, Heather, you gotta go. Though it might be too late. It might be too late for Tyrod, folks. It might be too late. He might have gotten in too deep. Goes on to say here that therefore the LLC breached the contract by refusing to convey the property to Ms. Howard under the original terms and threatening to convict her. Monetary. Now listen to this next part here. Let me go ahead and slide this up a little bit so you all can see this. I want you to see this whole part right here so you can see what the issue is. Take a look at this next line, everyone. Monetary damages are insufficient to compensate Miss Howard, since she already resides in this property with her children, and it has become her primary residence.
And deal with it, nigga.
My folks in California, New York, Texas, and other states, you know why they're saying this. This is her primary residence. Oh, so you can't evict her. You can't just tell her you got to get the hell out. You're going to have to go to court to get her out. Remember, folks, if she's receiving mail there, if she is receiving mail and is acknowledged as a resident, not a tenant, but a resident. Oh, you can't just kick a resident out. You got to take her to court. Yes, that's why they keep mentioning the kids, because the judge isn't going to let you just throw her on the street. Yeah, she can pay $20,000 a month, but the judge is going to say, oh, but she's struggling. So keep in mind, that's why they're mentioning this. Oh, by the way, this is her primary residence, so she ain't got to go nowhere. She got kids. She ain't got to leave. If anything, he needs to be the one getting out the house. Y'all know how this works? If anything, she gonna say, if anything, me and my kids should stay and he should be the one getting out. So me and my kids can be living stress-free. Yeah, buddy. Was the sex that good? 2022. Was the sex that good? So it says any move would be detrimental to Miss Howard and impose on undue hard. Okay, whoever the lawyer was, they must have ran through setting this up. They didn't proofread a damn thing. And impose an undue hardship on her minor children. Furthermore, if each and every real properties were considered unique and distinguished, the improvements Miss Howard has made to the property truly reflects her personal style, which makes it even more irreplaceable and exclusive. So they're saying that the fact that she may have put in some house plants, that she might have bought a lawn chair, that she might have repainted one of the mailbox posts, that means that she's got emotional investment in it, and that's all the more reason that you need to let her have the house. That's what they're saying. Therefore, now this is what the lawsuit says. Did you all see this on these other websites, by the way, folks who are running through this and whatnot? Did you see it there? Therefore, the only adequate remedy at law is to enforce the provisions of the contract, and plaintiff is entitled to specific performance by court decree ordering the defendant to convey the property to Miss Howard in accordance with the terms of the contract. Boy, it's a cold ass game. Fourth cause of action. Hell yeah. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 causes of action so far. Breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. Now, this one right here, this is a business term, fair dealing. So this ain't, for those of you thinking about your baby mama or your girlfriend that you might have had a tiff with, one of y'all getting kicked out the place or whatever, that's not what this says right here. Covenant of good faith and fair dealing, that's a business term. So this is basically business law that she's filing under for this cause of action. We're way past a domestic dispute or a domestic disagreement. Ms. Howard incorporates, by reference to all the allegations set forth above, Ms. Howard and the defendant entered into a contract whereby Ms. Howard would lease and eventually own the property with the mutual understanding that any contributions made would be deducted from its purchase price when the title is transferred. Ms. Howard performed under the contract by paying rent and making substantial improvements to the property. The LLC breached the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing by refusing to sell the property to Ms. Howard when she exercised the option to purchase and accepted their offer to purchase the property for $3.2 million. This is particularly egregious, considering the property had significantly increased in value due to improvements she made. Now, prove that her so-called improvements improve the value of the property. Prove that. Now, for this next part here, and you notice that word tenant and resident didn't come up before now. All of a sudden, now you're hearing that term. Section 34 here. Moreover, Ms. Howard is a tenant amenable to all statutory and common law tenant rights.
Damn! What? Damn!
So for those of you who are wondering whether or not they throwing everything in the kitchen sink, they damn sure are. Now they're claiming common law. Not to say common law marriage, but that she does have common law rights. So in other words, even if it's not spelled out in the letter of the law, they're saying as far as judicial doctrine and judicial tradition. So, I mean, they're throwing everything up here. Did these folks give you all this insight and analysis? That this is what she's claiming? Or did you read somebody tell you, well, she's suing him because he's trying to kick her out of the house, or she's suing him to get the house? Did you have them go through the documents to see exactly what she's saying? Oh, I got this fella by the throat, and these are the terms under which I've got him. It says, moreover, Ms. Howard is a tenant amenable to all statutory and common law tenant rights. The LLC further breached the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing by threatening to evict Ms. Howard when she was paying rent in a, quote, lease to own agreement. Boy, I'm telling you. Consequently, Ms. Howard was lured, oh goodness, into making full mortgage payments on behalf of the LLC, in addition to making significant improvements to the property when defendants had no intent of selling her the property. Accordingly, Ms. Howard is entitled to damages in an amount to be determined at trial. Y'all see how many times they said she's entitled to damages for how many different things? They ain't playing no games. They going for the throat. Not the throat, but the throat. They going straight for it. She's like, oh, hell no. Nigga, you got this house, and I intend to be triple X rated. Laying up with little old Jalen Green or whoever the next dude is she brings into the place. By the way, it'll be Jalen or whoever the next dude is. And just to show you all from Google Street View, this is the gatehouse leading up to where this house is, by the way. So this is what some chick like her, even though she ain't that great to begin with, this what a chick like her thinks she deserves to be getting that. Now, if she was able to buy this on her own, why the hell didn't she just go off and get it on her own? Folks, if she actually qualifies to be able to buy a place like that on her own, why isn't she just going out and buying the place on her own? I suspect what we're going to hear is something like this is going to be a subject to arrangement. If you all don't know about real estate, subject to, so she can take over his mortgage, that she doesn't really qualify for great terms. She can get a mortgage, but the terms for her won't be as favorable as they are for him. So she might actually wind up paying more, things like that. So she's waiting to exercise it. Oh, can I pay this down at this rate I'm giving you? So if she could actually afford a place of her own, why isn't she going off and buying it herself? There must be something that involves Tyrod, some ability that he has that she can't get on her own, or it would be difficult for her to do it herself. So she needs him in order to get that house, that she can't really get that house without him. She needs him to stick around a little bit longer so she can get into a position she wants to, but she needs him to give her the house under these terms, because she can't really get the terms she really needs to get on her own. Boy, y'all, I mean, it's getting worse. Do you see this? Oh, these lawyers are throwing everything. Fifth cause of action. Promissory estoppel against defendant Tyrod Taylor. Damn! Oh, now we getting in the promissory notes and promissory law against him personally. So they're making sure they bring everything they can think of. Miss Howard incorporates by reference all the allegations set forth above. Miss Howard and Mr. Taylor were in an intimate relationship. Now, here's where we start getting to the verbal stuff, y'all. Here's where we start getting into the promissory. If you ever heard of a promissory note, here's where we start getting into that. Miss Howard and Mr. Taylor were in an intimate relationship at the time the contract was entered into between the parties. Consequently, Mr. Taylor was not only Miss Howard's boyfriend, but her landlord. Mr. Taylor promised Miss Howard, even though the property currently belonged to the LLC at the time, she would eventually own it. Moreover, any improvements and rental payments she made towards the property would be fully deducted from the purchase price. I'm pretty sure that was the 2022 agreement they had. 2023, when she laying it with Jalen. By the way, ladies, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Y'all are always saying you have the right to change your mind. Okay, well, Tyrod's got the right to change his mind. Right. Relying on Mr. Taylor's promise, Miss Howard moved into the property with her minor children, significantly improved the property. They never said here what it was, that she did significantly improve it, and contributed to the LLC's mortgage payment on the property in the form of rental payments. I wonder if she was paying the whole damn thing, or is she just making a few chips on it? Did that $19,000 really cover the whole price? I don't know. When Miss Howard exercised the option to purchase the property and accepted the final purchase value of $3,209,723.06 pursuant to the defendant's offer, Mr. Taylor, who is the sole member of the LLC, refused to sell the property to her even while the LLC continued to accept rent and consideration from her. Moreover, the defendants maliciously threatened to evict her from the property. Doesn't sound like he needs your rent money then. You're saying they kept taking your money, but it doesn't sound like they need your rent money if they're saying we're going to kick you out. Miss Howard was deceived. Should she be talking about deceiving people? Hey, Draya, do you really have a leg to stand on to talk about deceiving somebody, ma'am? Asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. And again, you may be an expert on the topic, so. Ms. Howard was deceived into making improvements and paying the mortgage on a property that defendants knew she was neither going to own nor benefit from any appreciation. Therefore, Ms. Howard is entitled to damages in an amount to be determined at trial. Notice that these things, they keep talking about damages at trial for each of these causes of action. So they're not just relying on one thing or one substantiation. They're pulling out the damn kitchen sink on dude. Sixth cause of action.
What?
Sixth cause of action. Unjust enrichment against all defendants. So when they talked before about he was unfairly keeping the money and unfairly enriching themselves, now we get to that. Miss Howard regularly paid rent and made significant improvements to the property based on the promise that she would eventually own the property. The defendants maliciously refused to honor Miss Howard's exercise of the option to purchase the property. Miss Howard's financial contribution, I think you mean contributions plural, have increased the value of the property, inequitably benefiting the defendants. Ms. Howard is not only entitled to the sum of all contributions she made towards the property. So in this case, that would be according to her, over $300,000 or so. She is not only entitled to the sum of all contributions she made towards the property, as well as the appreciation in value of the property. Okay, they should have read this again. Okay, the word "but" should be in there somewhere. But she is not only entitled to the sum of all contributions she made toward the property, but the appreciation and value of the property in the amount to be determined at trial. You take a look at them keep going at that, by the way. Yeah, they want to make it worth their while. Seventh cause of action. Do y'all see? Do you understand? This is a scorned ex-girlfriend. This is not a tenant. This is not a normal tenant or a normal resident. This is a scorned ex. While the dumbass internet thoughts are sitting there talking about her money straight and whatnot, does this seem like this chick is scorned as hell? She's unhappy as hell. Do you see how deep in this she going? She ain't going at him as just a plaintiff. She's going at him as a scorned ex. I mean, this is all the way personal. This is all the way personal. She's like, okay, you want to play this game? Let's go. Seventh cause of action, declaratory relief against all parties. Miss Howard incorporates by reference, blah, blah, blah. An actual controversy has arisen and now exists. But I'm telling you, I don't know what street corner law firm this was, but the paralegal, I don't know if they're illegal aliens or something, but English is clearly not their first language. An actual controversy has arisen and now exists between Miss Howard and the defendants as to their respective rights and obligations with regard to the contract. Ms. Howard alleges that a valid contract exists between the parties and the LLC has breached the contract by refusing to sell the property to her under the terms of the mutual agreement, despite having substantially performed her duties. Ms. Howard desires a judicial determination of the rights and duties between herself, Defendant LLC, and Defendant Taylor, and their obligations under the contract and California law as to the lease agreement, purchase agreement, and option to purchase agreement. Now, just to go ahead and finish this out so you all have your judicial education properly edified for you, look it up. It says here that wherefore Miss Howard prays for judgment or relief against all defendants, and each of them jointly and severally, as follows: for damages in an amount proven at trial, for relief requiring defendant to specifically perform on the contract. In other words, to force him to follow through with the sale of that house. For plaintiff's emotional distress and mental anguish. For an attachment of a lien against the property in favor of the plaintiff. Damn! So, folks, you understand what they're saying is not only that, but we want to put a lien on this thing so he can't sell it or do anything until this matter is resolved. So essentially, he's going to have to keep making payments on it, and this is going to be a dead property unless he just really likes it. But it's going to be a dead property to him because she's saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we want to attach a lien to the property. We want to attach a lien on it." And for those of you who might think that that sentence means they have to wait until a judgment, no, the fact they're filing a lawsuit right now means that they can have a lien put on the property, or an injunction. They can have an injunction that will prevent sale of that property until this matter is settled. Since she's saying that she's owed damages from this property and it's rightfully hers. That's what this means. Or at least this is the direction we're going in. For declaration that defendant has an obligation to sell the property to plaintiff. For attorney's fees and costs incurred in this action. So that's the reason why they're okay helping her to file this lawsuit, because they're like, look, we're going to get attorney's fees. So we want him to give you the house, appreciation, financial damages, punitive damages, and attorney's fees. So you're going to get all the millions from forcing him to give you back the house, and we're going to get attorney's fees on top of that. He's going to have to reimburse us on top of all that. This is meant to knuckle you under and beat you into submission. Lastly, for other such relief as the court deems just and proper. Man, do you see what's going on here? Fellas, didn't I sit up here and tell you about survival sex? Damn! Jason Black was the first person to introduce that term to you all, that we are living in the era of survival sex. Every female out there wants to be a star. Every female out there wants to live that lavish life. But it's harder than ever to actually achieve it. Anybody can get on Instagram and have some filters on and sit up here and pose in a bikini on a beach somewhere. But the other 364 days out of the year, when you gotta pay for that lifestyle, they can't do it. They can't do it. Some numbskull, know-nothing, brain-dead, ignoramus hoes on the internet with their YouTube channels assuming what this woman is worth. And worth is not income. So if she's sitting on her last $500,000 or whatever from Real Housewives or whatever, yeah, you might. That's why she got to hurry up, move quick. Money ain't really moving like that. She would not be sitting up in this man's house trying to figure out how to get that house from up under him. He went from 2.8 to 3.2 and she said, okay. If she had an extra $400,000, what the hell is she doing sitting up here trying to get his house for? If she really did have an extra $400,000, why? If you acknowledge, when she went to him and said the value is $2.8 million, he said, no, it's $3.4 million. Why didn't she go say, yeah, okay, you in the house, y'all kick it like y'all are. I'm going somewhere else. I submit to you that I'm interested in seeing what Tyrod's response to this will be. I'm interested in seeing what Tyrod's response will be. I want to get his side of the story because I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to probably find out that she didn't really qualify on her own and she really needed to assume his mortgage or something like that. That she was really trying to assume his mortgage. Now you're sitting up there and whatnot, and she done had 2 years. Understand that. This fella here, he done paid the bills, he done paid the costs, he done got them kids up in his house. All because she light-skinned and she knows how to make it do what it do. He's not playing anymore, but he feel like he a player. No, dude, you got downgraded. Now he's going to have to overpay like a son of a gun because he crawled into bed with a chick having some survival sex. And a year after she crawled up in them sheets with him, a year later, she said, man, look here, let me go find me a little dumb young nigga to lay up with. Let me get the kids by him, man. She's just trying to get a dirty bag. Any which way she can, she's trying to get a dirty bag. She having kids by anything and everything out there, and she's trying to get a dirty bag. Fellas, listen to me. I have professional athletes, as you all know. I've got professional athletes who listen to my program on a regular basis. The ones who listen to me on a regular basis are really not dumb. But to the other fellas out there who tiptoe through every once in a while, listen, I'm not judging you for the hoes. Man, if you want to lay up with the hoes, do that. I'm not hating on, I'm not telling you who to lay up with or who not to. No diddy. But if you love hoes, hey, do what you do. Don't marry them. Don't get them pregnant. And don't move them in. Y'all fellas be so damn thirsty and dog-ass desperate. Your money ain't really where it needs to be compared to the guys who are still playing in the game anymore. Your money still ain't right. Your money ain't really popping like it used to be. But you sitting up here trying to get a chick for some regular sexual access. And if that sounds like Joe Smith, you damn right. Y'all fellas don't really qualify for the caliber of female you should be with, so you sell the damn farm to anybody who comes slithering through because you're so desperate for regular sexual access. You don't want to have to worry about where your next gripping them butt cheeks gonna come from. So you sat up here and overpaid. I don't have a problem with paying. I have a problem with overpaying. Draya Michelle isn't worth $2.8 million, old dumb nigga. Much less $3.4 million in damages. She's not worth that. She wasn't worth that 2 years ago. You didn't have to do any of this. And y'all know what happened when he got with her. She was playing Miss Goody. Take a look at the way he dresses. You take a look at the way old Tyrod there is dressing. And then you take a look at the way the little young dude she's running around with, laying up with now, and got pregnant by now. You take a look at the way he looks. You look at him, and then you take a look at the fella who was paying the damn bills. Take a look at the way she looks with the fella who was paying the damn bills, and then go take a look at what she is with the little young fella. You can see it. Body language, dress, whole damn 9 yards. You see it. So yeah, she did what she had to do to get you interested. That was all. She did what she had to do to get his nose wide open. She saw she was dealing with a little old square ass dude He was in the league, and he's just square as he can damn well be, desperate as he can be. And when instead of giving her the G move and just like, hey, baby, you can drop by every once in a while, but then you got to go kick it somewhere else. And instead of it being that, he was like, she sat up here and started jacking the price up on him. She's not doing nothing he can't get somewhere else. She's doing the same damn thing she's been doing, and he slowly let her keep jacking the price up on him until eventually, and that's why they were talking about that on that first page or second page, when they were talking about that memorialization. Folks, there's a reason why they said it this way. There's a reason they said it this way. This means something. This means something, folks. It means something. This is not minor. This means something. They didn't just say these terms because they were bored. This one right here, page 2 of it, line 12 and line 4, but section 12. On or about November 7th, 2023, Mr. Taylor counter-offered through his realtor agent. Damn! That he wanted immediate proof of funds or a mortgage approval letter from a lender to substantiate Ms. Howard's ability to purchase the property. Now, that in and of itself does not mean that the realtor agent is confirming that she paid for it or did anything financial, but they're including that to say that there are real people in the real world who were witnesses to what occurred and the circumstances under which they were occurring. That's why. They're saying, by the way, there are specific people we can name who will substantiate that he made a counteroffer and she accepted it. And he had a realtor agent, so there's documentation. There's a reason for that. Fellas, all I can do is tell you, if you are so desperate that you become a sexual scavenger, and then you go off and go grab some chick whose behavior is sketchy at best, grimy at worst, because you can't do no better, all I'm going to say is you going to get caught by the wolves. You going to get caught by the wolves. These fellas hop into bed with experienced hoes. They hop into bed with experienced hoes. She got tats all over the damn place. She is an experienced hoe. She knows how to grab a dude and blow his mind. She know how to make it seem like she just all into you. Oh, bro, you should have seen what she was doing, bro. She couldn't get enough. Man, look here. She does that with everybody. She does that with everybody. You the little dumb sad sack who thinks you're special. No, bro, she breaking bread. No, nigga, she paying down. She paying down. And he sat there for it. Folks, he was in trouble when he let them kids in that place. As soon as the kids were in there, she's like, oh, this nigga lets me run it. He gonna let me run it. And by the way, it shouldn't be lost on you. She played it good for a year. Did y'all get that? Let me go back to page number 1. She played it good for a year, didn't she? October 2023, actually August 2022. She waited good till she got past August of 2023. Did y'all get that? She waited over a year before she did what she really wanted to do. Let me go grab a little young dumb thing over here. She's like, I've been here for a year. You can't evict me. You can't kick me out. I'm legally a resident. And I put some money into the place, so you might as well go ahead and drop the house off since I'm already knee deep off up in you. You might as well go ahead and drop the whole damn house off. And the old boy's like, oh, no. You these little bastards got to go. He's trying to figure out how to deal with this in 2024. She was plotting all this in 2021. Got him to drop it off in 2022. And then a little over a year later, so that she's passed all the legal statutes, a year later, bammo! Now she flips it on him. And he's wanting to back out of the deal. And she's like, oh no, nigga, nobody backs out now. You gonna sit right here watching my kids like you been doing. Watching us walk around this house. We ain't husband and wife, but nigga, you can't get rid of me. So you gonna watch me and my cheating ass. Do y'all understand that she literally can legally sit in that house right now talking on the phone with Jalen Green, and there ain't nothing Tyrod can do about it except sit there and say, damn! Do y'all understand she can literally sit here with her kids walking around that house? She can walk through that front door smelling like Jalen Green's cologne or anything else. And as the aroma goes wafting through the home, can y'all imagine this being a man? You in your house and you smelling another nigga's cologne coming through the damn ventilation? You're like, oh, I know that's not mine. You hear the front door close. In them high heels. The AC system come on. And you catch a whiff of that. What the hell? What the hell? Is that Invictus? What is that? You know it ain't yours, and it's not perfume. You know it ain't. Can you imagine that? You paying tens of thousands of dollars for this? First of all, here's the first place where you messed up, that dumb nigga. You bought that house for her and her kids to move into instead of buying it for yourself. Her and the kids move in, and that's a wrap. Now she's like, oh, I don't have to do anything. And you can't, I'm just a resident. You can't kick me out. Can y'all imagine that? You're paying tens of thousands of dollars a month. This chick is making headlines, laying up with another dude. She pregnant with his kids and sitting in your house. She is sitting in your house. Y'all, has she dropped the load yet? Has she given birth yet? Because that would be a damn thing, wouldn't it? So the dude that she was seeing while you've been making all these payments, the dude she been seeing are his kids walking around that house right now?
Nigga, please.
So let me get this straight. Lil baby Jalen is crawling around the house as we speak. And she's suing you, not Jalen. She's suing you so that Jalen's kids will have a nice, secure, comfortable, luxurious place to grow up in. So, have I got that straight, everybody? He buys the house. He moves her and them other kids in. A year later, she goes laying up with another dude and gets pregnant. And now the other little fella, his kids are crawling around your house on your carpets. God forbid they knock over some of your pottery or your something in the house is breakable. Jalen kids is in the house right now, and your ex is suing so that they don't have to leave. Specifically stated in the lawsuit, me and Jalen kids, Your Honor, tell him that me and Jalen's kids get to stay. Me and Jalen's kids get to stay. And not no little old regular house either. I mean, $3 million in Los Angeles. Me and Jalen, gated community. Me and Jalen's kids get to stay. As a matter of fact, Your Honor, tell this nigga he got to sell me the house and he got to get out. That's what the lawsuit says. Tell him he has to sell me the house and he has to leave. He needs to go. So that me and Jalen's kids can grow up in peace and tranquility in the house that he helped us to get into. Fellas, it's a cold ass game out here right now. It's a cold ass game. These chicks, fellas, the way it is today, and in her case, you saw she was streaking towards 40, a single mom heading towards 40. Dumb niggas are still out here willing to bet the damn farm on a middle-aged single mom with tattoos and no damn future. In the year 2022, 2023, 2024, still betting the farm. And old boy Tyrod ain't got nobody to blame but himself for this. She was not worth that. She was in the discount bin when he met her. She was in the discount bin when he ran into her. She was on the clearance rack when she ran into him. But that's what happens. Fellas are so, especially dudes who got a little bit of money. Most men with money that they didn't have to make on their own. They're just high paid employees. Most of them are simps and tricks. They don't value it. They don't get smarter as time goes on. They get more desperate as time goes on. They don't develop real social skills. So they just end up hoping they can luck up on something. Every female on the planet has met you 3 or 4 times by the time she's 25 years old. She knows a sucker when she sees him. That's why she feel like she can go off and go hoe it up and have as many bastard kids with as many bum asses as she wants to, because she's met you desperate dudes and she knows one thing for a fact. Oh, that nigga gonna still be sitting there when I come back. He's not going anywhere. He's still gonna be sitting there when I come back. Now I'm gonna go off deeper into it. By the way, hey Tyrod, how long did you know that she was running around with Jalen? Damn! By the way, Tyrod, when did you find out? When did you find out that that was occurring? When? Because if she gave birth in May, oh hell, that means she got pregnant in what, like September of 2023? So, Tyrod, how long did you know? And were you sitting there trying to reconcile with this heifer? She been laying up with another dude. Did you wait until she starts to show? Oh, Jaden, I didn't know she was pregnant. I thought we could fix it. Okay, so you waited. Is Tyrod going to tell us that he waited until she started, once he saw that she was showing, then he said, oh, hell no! How could you do this to me? How long did you know, Tyrod, and you were just sitting there? How long were you watching this? How long were you financing her lifestyle and doing stuff for her that she could not do for herself? The fact that he went and bought a house, quote, for her and her kids, that tells me he did something for her that she couldn't do for her damn self. Fellas, understand something. When a female can't do nothing for herself financially, she goes to go find a man. And she schmoozes up to your little dumb, simple ass, and she wines and dines you, and she's on her best behavior, and she's a model citizen, and she's just all agreeable. I keep telling you, fellas, 6 months to figure out she wife material and 2 or 3 years before you even think about trying to marry nothing like that, because they can't be fake that long. And if he had taken my advice, he wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here. And you can see a radical difference between the way that Tyrod looks versus the dude she running with now. Fellas, if your money doesn't mean anything to you, if your accomplishments don't mean anything to you, if what you've done and built doesn't mean anything to you, just understand it sticks out like a roach on an ice cream cone. Everyone can see it, especially predatory females who are looking for their next come up and their next sucker. Draya Michelle been like this. Draya Michelle ain't no 10. Draya Michelle ain't no 8. But she's looking for dudes who are probably color-struck, star-struck, watched her on TV a decade or so or two ago, very easily impressed, and don't have a bunch of options, so the female who chooses them, that's the one they jump for. And now here he is with her trying to strong-arm him out of that house, which I suspect when we start seeing more documents, we're going to start to determine that, by the way, yeah, she couldn't actually get this house or a house like it on her own. I got the feeling when we start digging off in the crates, the reason why she doesn't do the obvious thing and just move on to another house is because it's not her finances she wants to get it with, it's his finances. And she doesn't have a plan B. She doesn't have a plan B. Y'all fellas see how quick that went? That went from a damn year. Well, the house is in an LLC, brother. That's not gonna save you. Don't think that putting a house in an LLC is going to save you. That's not going to save you. If she can substantiate to the satisfaction of a judge in California, of all places, and we all know California doesn't have one of the most criminally screwed up judicial systems in America, right? You are depending on the judicial mercy of a judge in California to interpret this correctly and to say that you two don't have a verbal contract when they're saying everything that they look for in California. By the way, Yana, he bought the house for me. He brought in me and my kids. Where we gonna be at? I mean, yeah, I paid $20,000 a month, but we's gonna be on the streets. We gonna be on the streets. And that's where the hell you at right now. So yeah, Draya Michelle is in the damn discount bin. She been there for a while. You supposed to be smart enough as men not to fall for that. Hey, if you want to go lay up with Draya, bruh, do what you do. Everybody else does, but be one of the fellas who's smart enough to lay up with her and send her ass home. Be that fella. Be the fella who is smart enough to lay up with her and send her home, back to her house. And if she ain't got one, don't bring it to yours. You're supposed to be that fella. If she's fantastic in bed, that's great. That's wonderful. Let her come over and do this fantastic thing. And when she's done being Miss Fantastic, send her home. Or tell her, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. No, that's not going to be the get down. No, we ain't making no claims like that. I'm strong over here. You be strong over there. And we'll be strong together. Yeah, some of you fellas out there, I don't want to have to fight that damn LA traffic. Congratulations. You don't have to fight the LA traffic anymore. You just have to fight the hoe you brought into your damn house that you didn't realize was having straight survival sex. Do y'all understand how many females there are out here who got Chanel bags and they having survival sex with some of you dudes out here? There's a whole bunch of fellas out here right now. You with a chick goddamn Chanel bag, a Louis bag. She broke as she can damn well be, or at least she's not at the level that you are. And she's sitting there saying, okay, I'm about to come up for real off this dude. You're sitting there looking at a handbag and she actually doesn't have a life that can support that. She doesn't actually have that. This woman had every damn warning sign known to man. Every single one. And he sat there for it. This is why I've been trying to wake y'all up for the longest damn time with Tiger Woods. Fellas, if you are a man who's got some money up under you and some mobility and, oh yeah, no kids, You don't have any kids. The females are taking a look at you like, nigga, you owe me. What do you need all that extra money for in disposable income? I've had females literally say that to me. Why are you being so selfish and greedy? You should be glad to go ahead and drop some money for me and my kids. Ma'am, what? I don't need you. Let the welfare feed you. So they have no problem looking at you and talking about you got disposable income. You should be happy to take care of these folks here. Why? You should be glad to do that. That's literally what they're going to tell you. Why? You should be glad to do that. And that should be a good opportunity for you right there. You should be happy. You should be happy to do that. With your money, your upward mobility, what you built. Yeah, they're sitting there saying, yeah, you should be happy to go ahead and do that. Yeah. You're the one with the money. You should be okay. You shouldn't have no problem taking care of me and my kids. You shouldn't have no problem paying for this house and everything else. Fellas, come on, man. Come on. The real problem that we have today is damn me desperation. Desperation, man. You're not supposed to be like that. Too many fellas out here, in the modern damn day, and they are just as desperate as they can be. These chicks are looking for y'all, man. You're easy prey. You are easy prey for a chick who's in the damn clearance rack. Also, he can have some convenience. I don't want to have to fight that LA traffic. Okay, congratulations. Now you can fight her. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. We go and dig and grab the documents and make sure we bring you the definitive analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else. So for those of you who heard about this story and you just read an article on TMZ and you took their word for it, what the documents actually say, I've taken out the time tonight to go and get the documents, to purchase them myself, to bring them to you so you can see what they say. So if you were under any mistaken notions that Diddy, Kanye, Tiger Woods, fellas, you have exited the era of the girlfriend. You are now in the era of the predatory wannabe wife. Even if she doesn't want to be the wife, she wants wife benefits. And since fellas with money ain't really marrying and dropping it off like that anymore, they're just like, okay, look here, nigga, let me just bash your ass over the head and smash and grab. Let me just do that. Okay, you ain't gonna marry me. You ain't gonna have no kids. Okay, nigga, I bet you I can get this house from up on your ass. I'm leaving with something. I bet you I can get this house from up under you. This is where we are today. This is where we at right now. This is why you see it over and over again. It's not just them dudes. Everybody trying to figure out how to get a hoe pension. Times are too tough out here, man. Times are too rough. It's not going to go back the way it was. It's only going to get more expensive. If that house they're in is $2.8 million today, it's going to be $5 million in a couple of years. She ain't trying to leave that. She's not trying to leave the place. She's not trying to leave the lifestyle. She's trying to cash out now while she still can. She's about to smack in the 40 like a water balloon against a brick wall. She is trying to get as much as she can and grab everything she can because that's it. Give me the kids. Give me a dumb nigga over here with a house. Think about that for a few moments. So she won't have to make no money of her own because she got child support. And now she's going to be like, and by the way, I'm going to be able to live in this house. And this dumb nigga who got it before, I'm going to sue him into giving me the home. When I get done with damages, he's basically going to have to pay that house off for me. And I will get to keep the home for only a fraction of what it would actually cost me if I tried to buy it, because I can't really afford to buy it. This is where we at now. So to every fella in here, know your damn worth. Know your damn value. Recognize these damn red flag females. Don't let yourself get put behind the 8 ball and in a trick bag. Don't be so damn desperate for some regular sexual access that you bring trouble in because she's making it easy. They always make it easy when they looking to exploit you. Once she feels like she got you where she wants you or that she's about to lose you, that's when you find out what's real. That's when you find out what's real. And oh boy, is about to find out what's real. Now, I'm still reserving judgment. I'm still reserving complete judgment until I see what his response is. Now, if he responds with, well, it wasn't like that, okay, we'll see. But I'll be interested in seeing what his response is. In any case, the telephone lines are now open. We're talking about the discount bin. Fellas, are you ready for the females who, if you break up with them, they are now willing to sue you? Are you willing to get with these females now, knowing that a breakup, if you're a fella who got some means about you, quote, breaking up today means suing you. Breaking up today means if you won't give her the house, she gonna take the house. If you won't give her the car, she gonna take the car. Fellas, this is the new normal now. You're moving into that. To the little broke fellas out there, don't you worry, you all right. But to the ones who are not, fellas, this is what they doing. I'm talking about shamelessly. Shamelessly. If nobody warned you that's what's going on, I've been telling you for years that this was happening. Years. Now here you are. Let me get caller from area code 713. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. It's Tony in Houston.
All right, Tony in Houston. What's on your mind, brother?
Listen, excellent program. I'm sorry Blog Talk messed up last night up on Detroit because that's where I'm from, and you know a lot of information. You had a lot of information about it, but I'll stick to the subject tonight. First of all, I don't personally know who these two people are. I think I've heard of Draya Michelle, but I know nothing about the woman. When you talk about, but it's interesting that these three people, are from the lower rungs of black culture. Draya Michelle, you described her perfectly, and this Tyrod, they're both entertainers, and the other guy, I believe, is in sports. These are the two areas in which white America, white supremacy allows Negroes to wild out. Sports and entertainment. Because it keeps the other black people occupied, but it also reinforces another thing of black hypersexuality. Draya Michelle has multiple children by men who don't raise these children. Bastard baby mama culture in black America is celebrated. It tends to shows that all the Negroes have to do is screw all the time, and they're satisfied. But also the last part I'll make about this, too, is that this woman and this guy in California that has this multi-million-dollar home, most black people in this country are living in apartments. Some are nicer than others, but they don't own anything. And these two fools are fighting over a multi-million-dollar mansion in California, and they're both going to lose because white folks are not going to allow them to live happily ever after.
I disagree with that part there. Old boy's going to be the one who has to pay for it. And, he was a quarterback in the NFL. He used to be a quarterback.
Yeah,
so she's one of these thoughts. She's one of these thoughts lays up with athletes because most of these niggas act so dumb. And so they're easy pickings. Brittany Renner wasn't slandering them too badly. Brittany Renner was not actually slandering them too badly. She was actually saying the quiet part out loud. My issue with him is not Draya Michelle.
Nonetheless,
the thing is, let's be clear. He essentially committed to this woman. He's got a house. He goes off and does that. And then next thing you know, he moves her in. Okay. Then he moves the kids in. And according to her,
which is what all black guys do in Cleveland.
He
Tennessee,
went and
else.
bought that house for the purposes of moving her and her kids in. So what does that tell you? He saw this woman with them kids, and he said, you know what? She needs to be in the lap of luxury. And
there you go.
Away he goes. Away he goes.
Jason, there's Captain Saber holes in all these cities and towns. This guy is no different than he's just in California. But they're doing the same thing here in Houston and Nacogdoches and Cleveland and everything. All these bastard baby mamas and these got Captain Saber holes, they're all mixed in together. But nobody is winning.
Look, I mean, whether it's in the chat room, they just said whether it's Russell Wilson or whoever, man, there's a lot of fellas out here. The problem is they ended up in sports. They immediately found themselves high income for something that they didn't have to get high competence for. So the females they're dealing with are highly competent. The males are highly incompetent. So they're trying to leverage their money with a female as if they're, leasing a car. And these chicks like, oh, don't worry, I can get a whole lot more than that. And so they end up just sitting still like sitting ducks until they drop the damn hammer on them. Now, I did look it up there. He plays for the Jets. So I think he's still in the league right now. He plays for the Jets.
Athletic.
So, yeah,
right,
she was laying up with him. He was smart enough, apparently, not to get her pregnant, but not smart enough to avoid squatters' rights. And what I'm saying is the problem is fellas today are so damn desperate, they're overpaying.
I agree.
They're overpaying for chicks in the discount bin. They paying multi-mils for chicks in the discount bin.
Right. I agree. 1,000%. The guys who are doing it in other cities I mentioned, they find all of these bastard baby mamas. They're working marginally. They have an average income. They probably grew up in a city that they never left the city they grew up in. So they're picking up all these bastard baby mamas doing the same thing. Only point I'm making is you got these people in California with this multi-million-dollar house, and then you got the dude in Cleveland arguing over, you getting the hell out of my apartment. Same thing, man.
Fellas got to value what they got. They got to value what they got, Tony.
Oh.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Dudes, I've been telling you for years now. I've been telling you for years. Fellas, it ain't no game. I don't care where you at. You in Atlanta. You got doctors and lawyers and engineers getting caught up. Dudes, everybody wants that lifestyle. But there are a few men who can provide that. She living in Los Angeles. She ain't trying to get that. I showed y'all. These chicks sit up here and they pose on Instagram. They're posing in front of Bentleys and they ain't got one. Don't be fooled by what you see there. So she's like, hey, if a multi-million-dollar lifestyle takes somebody who gets multi-million-dollars a year, and they ain't got it. Fellas, stop being fooled by the internet. These chicks ain't got it. They ain't got it. These women who are famous for being famous or famous for being on a reality TV show, they ain't got no money. Their job is to look good for a fella who's not used to anything. Hopefully he'll be easy pickings. This chick didn't let the grass grow under her feet before she was trying to lay with another dude in this fella house. Yeah, okay. Sitting right there with him, having survival sex, and he was none the wiser. Call from America 267. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, yes, it's Cece from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Good evening. I would just like to quickly say, I kind of agree with the last caller. They, actors, all these celebrities, most of them are degenerates, and I don't think they really represent Black society. But furthermore, most of the Blacks that I know, they don't do these type of behaviors, or, most competent Black men would never put themselves in this type of situation.
Okay, notice the word you said there, though. You said most competent Black men. Okay, how many men out here are competent, first of all?
So that's a hard statistic. That I don't know. I mean,
let's just call it for what it is.
Well,
I meant what I said.
Like,
I meant what I said a couple of weeks ago. Most males, M-O-S-T, most males are sexual scavengers. Most fellas today are absolutely starved of any type of regular sexual access. They literally don't know where their next sexual meal gonna come from. They have no idea. So when they actually do have an opportunity, they throw everything at it. So that's what I refer to when I talk about jacking the price up. When a female sees you don't have access like that, and she sees you giving off that energy that, yeah, just whatever she says you're going to go with because you don't get access like that, that's when all of a sudden it goes from she wants to date you to telling you that you have to give up tangibles. You got to drop off tangible. I need a house, I need a car, and I need it to be in my name. Now, there's where you get into trouble. See, if a chick is digging you, she just wants access. But if a chick doesn't really dig you, she sees you as a mark, and she's like, okay, I got to get these benefits out from up on his dumb ass before he figures this out, which he probably never will. But I don't want to waste no time because I need to hurry up and get his benefits so I can move on to a real nigga. Then they start telling you stuff like they want to get stuff in their name. They want credit cards in their name. They want cars in their name. They want houses in their name. Now, you got to pay for it. Now, the bill for all these things as the man, the bill is always going to stay in your name. The bill stays in your name, but she wants the property or the asset to be in her name. And what I'm saying is a lot of fellas out here walk off into these monetary transactions and these commercial transactions because he doesn't have options like that. Just because somebody's in the NFL doesn't mean he's not a lame. Just because he's in professional sports, those places are filled with lames. The females get over on them all the damn time. You shouldn't be that in a situation like that and just getting gotten over on all the damn time. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But most males are sexual scavengers. Females understand something that most men won't admit to themselves. She knows she doesn't have to be the sexiest thing in the world. She's just got to be the sexiest thing you ever had. Fellas, this is the inverse of what I've always taught you. You don't have to be as rich as Jay-Z. You don't have to be as popular or charismatic as Dwayne Johnson. You just have to be better than the last two guys she was with. Well, guess what? Females know the same thing. She doesn't have to be a 10. She just needs to be more fly than the last two females you were with. Because 2 in a row is not a fluke. So if she's more fly than the last two females you were with, okay. She's like, all right, I got it. That's all I have to do. And that is enough to get most men to drop their guard. And then when next thing you know, she starts telling, by the way, don't I look nice? Well, I mean, it's the best he ever had. So she's a 10 for him. And then next thing you know, he starts giving her 10 treatment, even though she isn't. And that's where they are today. I'll let you have the last word, Timmy.
Okay. Well, most of those men, females don't desire, I guess. And I feel like they put these celebrities out there because they're trying to push up agenda. And I think the best thing is not to follow a lot of them. Like the other guy said, a lot of these people that they're pushing out here are degenerates. And I feel like the incompetent men, or they either were raised by degenerate mothers, or they failed at life. But those girls are the reason why they take advantage of those type of guys. Well, they don't even like them. So
I have to disagree with that premise. It's very easy to write that off that way. We got to be honest with ourselves. Tyrod represents the average male if the average male woke up one day with a bunch of money. Tyrod is not an outlier. If you gave the average, remember, it's one thing if you made your money because of your character and your insight and your skill set and your mastery of the world around you. These guys made their money being able to run faster than somebody else. So they didn't have to actually earn it through character. or true ability in life. It's just from a fluke of genetics, not something that they actually earned. So with that being the case, he didn't really have to have $1 million worth of anything. He just wound up being in a time period in history where he could make $1 million. Who knows what it'll be in 100 years. With that being the case, he can't actually tell you how he got it or how to keep it. So he is what happens if the average male woke up one day. The average male is worth $40,000, and yet he wakes up one day with $20 million. He can't do anything but lose it because he doesn't have a $20 million mindset or a $20 million character. He's got a $40,000 character and a $40,000 mindset. You dump a bunch of money on him, it's simply going to all wash away. And Tyrod is what happens when the average male, if the average male were given a bunch of money, he's immediately going to go trick it off. He's immediately going to become a simp. Jason was a simp. A simp is a male who thinks that he can purchase female respect.
What?
A simp is a male who thinks that he can purchase female respect. He thinks he can buy it. He thinks he can purchase it. He goes around using phrases like, I'm a good man. He goes around using phrases like, these women don't appreciate what you do for them. He goes around saying things like that. And then you go take a look at the caliber of female that he's doing it for, and it's like, oh, hell. So a simp thinks he can purchase respect as opposed to being somebody who commands it from the beginning. He walks in leading with his money and saying that, hey, me and the money are a package deal. Well, the woman knows that's not actually accurate. But he wants it to be because he doesn't have the character to go along with it. If Tyrod had any real character, he would have done what she respected. She wouldn't have liked it, but she would have respected it if he was like, yeah, baby, I can't really move you in like that. You and them kids, where they daddy at? See, she doesn't like that, but she respects it because he wouldn't have been an easy ass mark. Soon as he showed that she's bringing $30,000 worth of femininity value and he's bringing $30 million and he's saying, okay, that $30,000 is worth $30 million. They balance out. She's like, oh, I found a sucker. A woman can't respect a man who makes a bad deal, even if that deal is her. I say again, a woman cannot respect a man who makes a bad deal, even if the bad deal is her. Oh, she'll take the money. She'll take it, but she will not respect you. You're obviously not smart enough and competent enough to not make a bad deal. She better go grab your money before you go trick it off and lose it all. And that's where the female mindset comes from. She's like, oh, nigga, I got to take your money now because somebody else is going to get it. I might as well go ahead and take it because you're obviously not wise enough and savvy enough to hold it. Let me go ahead and grab that before you lose it all. I can put it to better use than you. And that's where you're at.
Oh, can I ask you for a favor? I don't know if you want to look into a guy. His name's Jamal. He made a song about single mothers, and I wonder if he is a topic or something, I guess, of the average guy. Is this something I just wanted to request?
Okay. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 407. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Mike from Orlando.
Okay, Mike from Orlando. What's on your mind?
I see everything that she lined up. She lined them up. He was the play the whole time, and he didn't even know he was the play. So she was lining him up from day one. But also, you got to sit there and think this new guy that she's with, the little NBA player, he don't see this shit transparent in front of his eyes?
Yes.
Like what she did to him, she's going to do to you 2 times worse.
Oh, absolutely. But remember, that's why they go get little young dumb fellas. He's going to tell himself that he's special. He going to believe it because he doesn't have enough life experience. You know, for example, how old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay, you have enough life experience. You've been alive almost twice as long as he has. Right. So you've got a wealth of life experience. That's why these Brittany Williams and them are going after these little young fellas who haven't seen anything yet. Now that's predatory behavior. They're going after guys who haven't seen anything yet because they're of legal age. Yeah, but they don't have any experience. They don't have any experience.
And then you got to sit there and think too. After she sits there and takes this house from Tyrod, she gonna sit there and use that child support money from the old dude to pay the property taxes and the upkeep on the house.
I predict she's gonna need another one. Jalen will not be enough.
Oh, she's gonna go for another house?
Another dude. Jalen will not be enough.
Oh, okay.
What she's ultimately, this is math. This isn't even social issues anymore. This is just mathematics. We need Tyrod to drop off the house because her current finances can't really pay for that, but she doesn't want to take a downgrade in lifestyle. She does not want to take a downgrade in lifestyle. She is hanging on to this rung for dear life. Remember, meeting Jalen was a result of living where she at. It's on Tyrod's dime, but she got there by living where he's at. So she needs what he's got. So she's going to try to scrape that out from up under him. That's what the lifestyle.
So she used them.
Well, slow down. She got the lifestyle. First, she got the
sorry.
lifestyle. Now she's got Jalen, because we need to get that regular income coming in because she's about to hit 40 and she doesn't really have anything to leverage. So we got the roof over your head to fake the lifestyle. You're going to have the income coming in to pay for it. But I predict that's not going to be enough with just the kids. She's going to need another man. Jalen Green will not be enough.
Yeah.
She's going to need another man who's willing to simply pay for her. We got somebody to pay for the kids, but now she needs somebody to pay for her.
Yes, sir. And so she practically used him as a starter husband.
I mean,
if you look at it.
I mean, she's had plenty of practice. 39 years old, man.
Yeah.
She's had plenty of fellas out here just don't understand these, especially chicks like her. They tatted up, hood ratted up. She's been doing this since she was 16, 17 years old. 16, 17 years old and making it do what it do. And she's going out there looking for a bunch of suckers. So what these chicks have figured out is that if they can get on TV and be featured on a television show, for a lot of these old little dumb dudes, that gets their noses wide open. Ciara has no business being with Russell Wilson except she was on TV. We can go down the damn list. Draya Michelle was on TV.
About 20 years, 15 years ago. 15 years ago.
These fellas haven't forgot. It's even worse. Like I say, Brittany Renner. It's even worse because a lot of these women know this, these fellas were looking at you and they was 11 years old. So you basically wait until they got a legal age. It's like, okay, this will be easy pickings. And that's exactly what they're doing.
She used their nostalgia, how you pronounce it, nostalgia or whatever, against them, because Absolutely. They see her how she was, not how she is.
And he'd been waiting for his turn. Now he feels like he's lucky. Yeah. I used to see her on TV. Now he's gone from thinking about it and wishing about it to having it, even if it's not worth it. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That to them balances out the value. How much is nostalgia worth to you? What's the dollar value you can put on nostalgia? I mean, that's tremendous.
Well, the market's supposed to determine that, but they ain't paying attention to the market.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between the person and nostalgia. Nostalgia is sweet memories. Right. Nostalgia is a callback to your childhood or when you were younger, or some idealized vision of what your life was like at the time. So you can't really put a dollar value on nostalgia. If that woman knows this and she is willing to leverage nostalgia.
Oh, sure, use that all day.
And you can't put a dollar value on nostalgia. How do you put a dollar value on your dreams? So when she says, hey, I want a G-Wagon. Well, how do you, okay, on the one hand, you have nostalgia. On the other hand, you have $150,000. So to you, that $150K seems pretty damn cheap in order to keep your nostalgia happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you're a millionaire. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
So he doesn't even see it. Jalen Green has not had enough life experiences. He does not know the way that women really are. He doesn't know that the female will sit there, look you in your eye with her arms around you for 2 years and be lying the whole damn time. He's not used to that. He doesn't understand it. And obviously doesn't have anybody in his inner circle to warn him or tell him otherwise. So he's walked off into the damn trap. He's got caught by a damn scorpion man-eater. And he's just going to be the next sap sucker to get took. PJ Washington the Fifth or whatever. And that's going to be the story of him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But go ahead, brother. You're doing your thing tonight. You know what I'm saying? Keep rocking, bro.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. The killing part about it for Jalen is Jalen doesn't even recognize, dude, she doesn't need you anymore. She got the babies now. She does not need Jalen anymore. She got the kids. She got the kid now, nigga, in California. She's got the kid in California. She doesn't need you anymore. Now she's got access to your resources without you. You've now given her the ability to have access to your resources and get a court to say she has a right to access to that without you. I want the fellas to recognize one more part of the game. I want y'all to recognize one more part of the game that I warn you about over and over again. Fellas, stop letting these hoes. Did he say hoes? I damn sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Stop letting these hoes rush you when you are desperate and dehydrated and dried out. You're just so desperate, boy. You ain't had nothing that smells nice with perfume next to you and something soft and warm to rub on. And fellas, y'all let them sit up here and walk you straight into some mess. I'm talking about put you in the express lane. Stop letting these chicks sit up here and rush you into something. Take your damn time. Stop letting them sit up here and tell you that you're on some damn time clock. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop letting them sit up here and say you got to hurry up and go. No, you don't. You don't have to hurry up and nothing. Just because she's running out of time doesn't mean you are. Just because she's got a time problem doesn't mean you do. There's a whole bunch of fellas here. Y'all letting these chicks sit up here and run you into a situation and they want to brag about it. 6 months later, 12 months later, and she's got you in a permanent situation. You couldn't get a degree in that kind of time. A school commit to you permanently for that kind of time. You're getting put in permanent situations within months, not years, within months. Don't you know that's desperation talking? Stop letting these people sit up here and run your ass into obvious traps. It is so obviously a trap. When folks are rushing you through a decision and telling you need to hurry up. Come on, hurry up. You need to hurry up and go now. I ain't waiting on nothing, especially if she got kids by another nigga. What? Wait a minute, you didn't rush the last 4 niggas. You rushing me? So I got to hurry up and get at it. Now the last 4 niggas didn't have to run through nothing. They got to stick around for a decade. But I got to hurry up and move. Fellas, come on now. This isn't my opinion. This is just math. This is just math. Why is she rushing you? She didn't rush anybody else, but she rushing you. Hell yeah, hurry up and make this dumbass decision before you wake up and realize you're making a mistake. Hurry up and sign on this dotted line before you figure out it's the wrong thing. Before you figure out what's really going on. Hurry up and say yes before you have a chance to think about it. Here, let me move me and my kids in. Baby, you know, this sex is so good, ain't it? Oh, baby, it sure is, baby. And we can do this all the time. Well, you know, if I lived here, what? We could do it all the time. Well, you know what I mean? Oh, I guess you is right about that right there. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you live here, yeah, I mean, yeah, you be right here when I get here. Go to the NFL season, you be right here. And she hang around. This nigga out here playing football games. By the way, did she start running around with Jalen Green when the football season started? Damn! So y'all know how these chicks be running game on y'all. Oh, baby, you know, if I moved in, we could do it every day. We'd be able to do it all the time, every time if I lived here with you. Okay, we can do that. I just got me a contract with the Jets. We can go ahead and do that. Okay. Yeah, me and my kids. Well, you and the kids? Okay, well, you don't want me running back and forth to my baby daddy house here. So, you know, if you and me and the kids were together, I could do that all the time. You know, you and me can be upstairs. They can be downstairs. Okay. All right. We can do that there again. All right. Okay. All right. What could possibly go wrong? All right, let me get over here on Zoom. I got Prince out of Richmond here on Zoom. And what's on your mind, Prince?
Yes, sir, brother. Let me ask you something. You know, I really appreciate you say, if I lived here. That's something that women will always say to you. What value do single mothers place on sex, in your opinion? Not just the scavengers, but single mothers in particular.
Oh, I mean, it's crucial, it's critical, it's key. It's sexual sorcery. It is pretty much the only thing that they can have there that has intrinsic value. Men teach females early that males flip out for sex.
Especially when we're young.
They teach them that early. So from the time these girls are sexually viable, they see the outrageous way that males respond. These fellas respond to sex differently than they do literally everything else.
My God.
They don't respond to sex like sex is totally separate and apart. These fellas respond to that way different than everything else.
Like a narcotic, like crack.
They pick up on it immediately. So at that point, they realize they got leverage.
Okay.
With the average dude. Now, the average dude is the guy who has to go talk them into sex. The fellows who are actually in demand, it comes to them. So the females offer it to the guys they want, but most guys have to try to offer it to the females. That's the overwhelming majority. All you've done is communicate to them, and they're learning. With each man, with each relationship, she's learning to how to fine-tune this thing, and a lot of them learn how to weaponize it.
Yes, they do.
And once that train leaves the station, that's a wrap.
And I would like to tell young men something when it comes to dealing with women. Actually, the women in my family and the men too, but specifically the women, they told me a woman is concerned about her immediate situation. And I remember how my uncle pushed that home to me. You better understand something. While you laying up in the bed with her, she's over there thinking and dreaming about her and whatever, her children or whatever that is, her situation, and how you can be a benefit to her. And that, you know, that's how it is, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, if the threshold for pleasing you or keeping you happy is low, she's going to look for the lowest common denominator. She's not going to put in any more effort than she has to. So if you make it simple, and if you're a guy who has real value, but you making it dog ass simple and easy for every female, that's all they're going to do. You have to communicate to them what your value is. You got to do that.
You're right. Now that's real. You have to put skin in the game. You have to have, like you say, you have to have a plan or a purpose.
What you've got and what you are worth are two separate things.
Gotcha.
You might have $10 million, but if you're a sad sack, you're worth about $50.
Talk about it.
You're just a $50 dude with some millions of dollars. So what you've got and what you're worth are two separate things. Hopefully they will both be commensurate. Look it up. Hopefully they'll both be equivalent, but for most males, they're not. The way they see themselves and what they got are usually out of whack.
Well, Jason, I have to ask you this question directly, and you don't have to answer it. I'm not trying to throw shade in them, but I want to ask you because I have an opinion on it too. What do you feel that you owe another man's seed? And when I'm saying that, if you're dealing with a woman that has children, what do you believe your obligation is to them? Because at some point, the women feel like you should be as obligated as a father. That if you with them, you're supposed to take on the responsibility of their children. How do you keep that from becoming a confusing situation?
My parents always taught me, do not start something you cannot finish.
There you go.
You got your eyes on her, but as you said, she's got her eyes on her situation. So if a man is not willing to admit that the female is trying to leverage something, then you get in trouble. So she gets you, but you get her situation. There's the issue. So I tell fellas, do as you please in that regard. Just make sure you are not doing anything of permanence. Do not do anything of permanence. Don't do anything permanent. Everything should be something that you can get up and physically walk away from. If you haven't done that, she got you.
But that's the thing that we learned that through experience and years. Back in the day, there was times that women would get you and you not really know it to that extent. I've always been able to walk away, but some guys, they get caught because they think they in charge, they running things, and that comes from with experience. How do they know when a woman got them at checkmate? How should they know that? Because sometimes they think the woman had them thinking that they in charge, like you were saying with this situation with Tyrod Taylor.
Fellas usually sit up here and, like I say, desperation rule the nation. If you are easy to get over on, desperation just it reeks from you, and most males don't get it. They think money's going to cover it up, and it doesn't.
No,
everyone can. It's like you're walking down the street with elephant ears. Everyone can see it. It's not. You can't even hide it. You can't even hide it. So with that being the case, dudes need to be careful. That's why I try to talk to them as far as folks and their kids and things like that. I talk to folks' kids. I just try to game them up. But as far as an obligation, no, I don't have an obligation to anything. I have an obligation in general, but I don't have a specific obligation to somebody else's legacy. No, I don't. Just because it would be really cool and great if, it'd be really great if you could step in to be stepdaddy. I imagine it would be. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things that'd be cool. That one's at the top of the list probably. But yeah, that's not going to happen because you see, I know my worth. Well, Jason, how you feel about that? I don't feel any kind of way about that. You see, as men, if we screw up, we don't get to go back. Nobody gives us no damn mulligans. Nobody feels sorry for us. All they tell you is, okay, well, nigga, you get to go the rest of your life without it. Whatever it is you lost, whatever it is you screwed off, you got to go the rest of your damn days without it. That's where you at. So with men, the world is merciless. Nobody ever tells us that we have a right to another female to step in and take up where the last one left off at.
Never.
No one talks to us like that and says, you have a right to have another quality. If you messed off a quality female, you have a right to another quality female. It's like, oh no, nigga, you might not never get another one. Oh well, bye. Now that's what we get. But yet when it comes to females, it doesn't matter how trashed out, ragged out they are. Oh, you can't tell them they won't get another one. Okay, you tell the men that all the damn time. You tell us that all the time. So it's okay. So you and me, it's okay for us to lose permanently, but for the females, spare them. Spare them. You can't say that, spare them. The world is too cruel. It becomes that.
They say we're going to die alone, Jason. What are you going to do with the house? Why you worry about what I'm going to do with what I got? That's a problem. Now, Jason, do you believe that the days of shacking up are gone? When it comes to sugar daddies, are they exempt from this? I'm asking for a friend.
Dude, look, we are not in the 1950s anymore. You're in a day and age where scheming has been elevated to an art form. It does you no good to be naive. So fellas out here of whatever age they at, you can walk into this damn world naive if you want to. Just because you ain't scheming on her does not mean she stopped scheming on you. You be foolish and silly at your own risk. That's all I can tell you. To fellas walking around out here and their money doesn't mean anything to them. They just diddy bopping through life and their money don't mean nothing to them. It's like, okay, bro, you about to find out what that really, in this day and age, you're going to find out what that really means. You're going to find out what that really means.
Now you were saying something about, this is amazing. So they're using terminology like primary resident, like they were married. That's her homestead now. Here in Texas, that's what we call a homestead. Homestead has protections. So this is amazing how she slithered away. Nobody's learned nothing from Tiger Woods' situation. And so I guess what could be done to protect an individual for something like this? Because if you're with a woman, Jason, giving a man of your status and if you're able to do certain things for women, you want to, you try to make sure their life comfortable. When do you keep that from becoming to an area of obligation? That even though she might act bad or she might want you to finance it and get somebody else to romance it, when that becomes an obligation?
Well, look, all I can say is that one of the main reasons why I started the business was because I wanted to have conversations like this about power dynamics. And the most important decision a woman will ever make is the quality of man that she has. The second most important decision a man ever makes is the quality of woman. Most important decision being his purpose and mission in life. That's the most important thing. She's the second most. But that doesn't mean it's not damn critical, because that second one can mess up the first one and everything else.
That's true.
So what I did was I was just simply really just bold enough to say, hey, I'm going to define these terms. I'm going to define what they mean. I'm going to define what really applies. I know what people are being told. I'm going to find out what's real. So I'm just an adventurous kind of guy who just went out to go find out what's real, what actually happens, what works, what doesn't. And what I found out is, man, these females out here are slick as hell. They have really maximized their skill set at selling themselves to men. And what they're doing, what I figured out is y'all are selling men your ceiling. You're hitting every man in salesmanship. You're hitting every man up with your ceiling, with your max price. Women never lead with their floor unless it's a guy they really want. Then
there you go.
He's the one gets the rock bottom price in the gate. And even then, even after he gets it, she's going to start trying to jack it up as it goes. But he's the only one that she approaches with her with the real rock bottom price. Because on account of the fact that she's trying to buy something from him, not the other way around. For the average guy, you're the one trying to sell something. So she's like, okay, let's find out where the ceiling is. So she hits you with the max. And the reason that women do that is because it works.
Yes.
They do it because most men start bidding. They start bidding up the price. So what women figure out early, especially if they had some bad relationships, I wish I had gotten more from that nigga before we broke up. So she comes to you trying to make up and compensate for what she had before or lost before or ego. It's like, okay, you get hit with the ceiling. Let me go ahead and hit you with the max. And that's exactly what it becomes. Let me hit you with the max.
Max.
And most males go for it because they don't really have options like that.
Now, that's true. But a man that's on his game and that's on his grind, how does he know if he's dealing with a predatory woman? Is that just our experience? We learn from experience, because some of it is risky. Some things you want to have some cues ahead of time other than just through experience. You know what I'm saying?
Well, once again, like I say, if you let somebody sit up here and rush you through things, you're going to be messed up. You need to give yourself time. Now, if you're a fellow who's in a hurry and you're reckless, I guess it's not going to help you. But if you have time, you need to give yourself time to deal with, as I've always said, with a number of different females so you can get life experience. Don't settle on just one. Don't get one-itis. Don't make one female your only option. Learn from a number of them so you can see the best and the worst, so you can actually see what women really are. And then you can start making some long-term decisions about what you want and how you'll approach life and how it'll be. You're going to have to meet a predator before you can identify one.
Okay, that's right.
You're going to have to meet one before you can truly identify one. You're going to have to meet one. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm just giving you the rules whereby which, even if you meet a predator, here's how you can manage that situation so that you don't just get gobbled. But truth be told, every man is going to need to go meet a predator before he knows how to deal with them. Because my perception of it isn't necessarily going to be yours. The clues that tipped me off, I can give you some general guidelines, but just getting that instinct about it, my perception of it will not be yours. You need to come into contact with them so you can see it and pick up the vibe and the body energy and the nonverbal communication and, the facial expressions, all that. You once you meet them, just sitting in the room with her ass, it's like, okay, there it is. It's like, I ain't never seen this before. Whoa, this got some dark energy going on over there. And that's really what helps put that in perspective for you. But you're going to have to meet a predator and start spending time around them. It's like being around gangsters, hustlers. You're going to have to spend time around hustlers before you understand how hustlers move. That's not really some, we can show you at a distance, you can watch some of it, but to really understand it, you're going to have to be around some. That's how you really understand it.
Right. Jason, when you started the business several years ago, I was there when you started the business, and at first I wasn't clear. I said, this is a great idea, but I didn't know where you were going with it. I couldn't understand. And a lot of the things that are happening now, you actually covered them then before anybody was before they even started happening. Was that a coincidence, or did you see the way the current was moving?
No, this is all deliberate. The business is the result and the culmination of my life's experiences and what I continue to learn. And the misinformation is blatantly put out there. The difference between me and the red pill, Rollo Tomasi, and the rest of them is I can give you all pathology.
Yes.
I don't give you philosophy. I can give you prescriptions. You see A, do B. This is what you're looking for. I can give you specifics. I don't just give you general philosophies that regurgitated over and over again. Case in point, we bring up the company car. A lot of fellas out there are underachieving because, if I buy it, I had to give it to a nigga. Are you dumb? No. But what I'm saying is that he's so scared because that's what she told him. She told him it's not worth anything if he doesn't sign it over to her. And I'm like, okay, we're not even going to play this game. Let's try this a different way. I'm talking to 3 of you. And whoever wants to drive it, she can. So if you want to, great. And if you don't, that's all right. So at that point right there, what I'm saying is that nothing changed except how you approached it. You didn't try to change her. You changed yourself. Okay, well, let her stay the way she is. But that don't mean I'm going to be alone tonight, and that doesn't mean the car's going to be sitting here tonight. And if you don't want it, believe me, another few of them do.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that. That's the kind of thing you don't hear anywhere else. Because I'm the only guy who told you all about that, not just about the concept of the company car, but how to put it into practice and why it works. I told you all, 75% of luxury cars are leased to begin with. So you would not be, in most cases, all these women you see running around with BMWs and S-classes, they're paid for by other men, they're leased in the first place, not even being purchased. 75% of them are being leased. So fellas, you're falling for a trick bag. And by the way, from females who don't even have it. If you can go buy a Range Rover, this chick telling me you need to buy it and put in her damn name, the hell you do. She's sitting up here driving a damn Toyota Corolla, 10 years old, and telling you got to sign over a G-Wagon or you got to sign over a Range Rover. You got to sign over a Maybach. No, you don't. She running game, dude. She running game. But if you are inexperienced and desperate, you'll be so eager to hold on that you will pay any price. And when they see that, you don't realize, dude, she's not in love. You in love, she's in business.
You made 2 important statements over the years dealing with the company car. One thing was you said a woman she don't really want the car in her name. She don't want to pull the maintenance on it. That's one of the main things that you said. Women don't want to pull maintenance on no vehicle. That solves everything that you say. I mean, everything that people say. No. And another thing that you said, and I'm going to cut you off, brother. Another thing that you said dealing with that is that not only do she not want to do that, I forgot what the second part was. God, you had 2 things.
No, they don't want ownership. They just want access.
They want access.
They don't want to have to maintain it. They don't want to have to pay for it. They don't want to have to see to its upkeep. They want just access to it, and they want you to take care of that. Hell, even if you gave it to them, the only damn thing they would do is drive it for a year and then go sell it. That's all they would do. So as a man, if you have enough life experiences, the real thing is to get all this knowledge and experience and wisdom from it while you're still young enough to be able to use it.
Yes.
So that's what keeps a man from becoming bitter, is when he learns it early enough that he can actually put it into practice and stop getting gotten over on and stupid things happening and stop losing earlier and earlier. That's what gives you value. But if you are listening to women on how to deal with women, there's the first, you learn with women from observation.
Yes.
If you have options, you're not afraid, because the one thing you're not afraid of is for her to get up and walk. It's like, okay, if you have options, you can start learning, experimenting, and you're not worried that you're just going to be left with no options if one walks. That's the whole point of doing that. So you give yourself enough space, enough leeway to be able to learn. Now you can master it. Now you know what the price actually is, and more importantly, what the price isn't. So that you're dealing with information, not misinformation. Most males today are wallowing in misinformation given to them by the very people who they're supposed to be bidding against. And that's how you end up like this, over and over again. I'll let you have the last word.
Jason, you also I remember now, you deal with power dynamics. You say if you give the woman the company car, it's hers until that situation has dissolved. You don't go get mad and take it from her or pull the car. It's hers as long as she's
correct.
With you.
It is essential that you establish its value.
Okay.
You know the dollar value to you, but it must have practical value and possessive value to her. That's the only point. It must have possessive value to her. It needs to be clearly spelled out by you what it is. It needs to be something that you're like, I will even put this in writing. That's just how solid that is. It's something that you can commit to verbally or written. You can commit to that verbally or written. I'm not afraid of either one of those. And I've done that. I'm not afraid of either one. So if you've chosen the woman correctly and this is what it is, you have no problem doing that. It's like, okay, as long as we're together, that's what it is. And I'll put that in writing. Okay, you're done. What you're doing is you're establishing, you're not telling her your value, you're showing it. That's the real thing. Now you can be taken seriously.
And Jason, the last thing I did want to say is the woman, are they wanting to have a divorce settlement? Because like you say, men do not want to marry right now. Are they looking for something palimony or something like that now?
Right now, females are trying to execute, dual strategies at once. They want the fella who gonna pay, but she knows she got to trick you into thinking you fly. You really are a lame, but she's got to gas your head up because what she really wants is too slick to do given like what you're doing. So you're stuck between these three things. The guys who give them what they want physically, the fellas who give them what they want financially, and the fellas who have what they want socially. In reality, she wants it all. She wants the good-looking guy with the social status and the money. But that's hard to find combinations of that. So they wind up suckering in the beta who gonna pay for something. She just tries to get something permanent with you. Let's get a kid or a marriage, and let me go ahead and get out from up under that. So she's like, okay, I can always exit. This isn't permanent for me. Then you have the fellow who's good looking, but he doesn't have to leverage money for that, and he knows it. So if he's got money, he knows he doesn't have to spend it on you. He's got options beyond that. Then you have the guys with social status. Money usually comes with that. It just depends on how wise or smart he is about it. So what's happening right now is the females are looking for a sucker to pay the bills, but she has no passion for him, so she needs to get some guy who really ignites that for her, which means she's going to need more than one fella. How do we hoodwink this first guy and then get everything else we want from the others? How do we do that? And that is the way of the world now. So as a man today, you can't really afford to, I'm not going to say you have to have all those things, although it damn sure helps. I would suggest you try to get as close to all of those as you can. But you need to be aware that I don't care what a female is telling you. Nigga, when she said she wants that G-Wagon, she means that. She's not kidding. She's not joking. She's sitting there with stars in her eyes and smiling. You like, okay, she's smiling, which she ain't that serious. Yes, she is. Stop fooling your damn self. When she says she wants that Birkin, she means that. Yes, she does. Now, you don't want to hear it because like, oh, boy, that's big ticket. Oh, nigga, she meant that. She meant it. Now, you need to be honest enough with yourself that, hey, that's what she means. Level with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Accept reality for what it is. Deal with women where they are, not where you wish they were. Let women be able to tell you the truth and you deal with the truth. Not, well, she told you the truth. I don't want to hear that right there. Let's negotiate. It's like, no. If she's not worth it, you pick up and leave. Or you let her know, okay, that's not really in the cards. But if she said what she wants and you sitting up there with her, Oh, she means that. Your job is to accept it and understand she means that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 774. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Last try. Caller from area code 774. You're on live.
It's Lorenzo from Boston.
Okay, Lorenzo from Boston. And what's on your mind?
Hanging in there, man. I appreciate all the work you put in, and I've been in kind of like a tough situation. You put in major work. I'm FBA. You know, my mother's from Georgia. My father's from North Carolina, and I appreciate all the work you put in. And I just wanted some advice on my situation.
Okay, give us the Reader's Digest version.
So pretty much, I grew up in Brockton, Mass. It's like a suburb, from Boston. And I got a couple. I worked at a couple warehouse jobs, and didn't really do too much. But I did a DBA with my uncle. My dad passed 2 years ago. 2 weeks before that, my cousin passed, and I listen to you all the time. I'm calling you because
okay, let me find out. Okay, brother, little time's running down here, so let me find out here. What exactly is your question?
My question is, I'm 36 years old. I just turned 36. My dad passed 2 years ago. My cousin passed 3 weeks before that, and I just wanted to get your expertise on the best place where I can move forward. I thought about going to the military. I thought about getting my CDL. I seen your CDL page on your CDL post on your other page, and I just wanted to know.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you're 36 years old here, and you're trying to figure out what to do with your life.
Exactly, that's correct.
Okay,
that's correct.
What's been the hold up all these years, sir?
I don't want to be a parody or like another I don't want to be.
Okay, brother, you were asked a question here. Let me try a second time. What's been the hold up for the last decade and a half?
Honestly, just I've had family issues, if that makes sense. Family issues. Issues in the past with SA, if that makes sense.
Okay. With it happening to you, or you doing it to somebody else?
No. To me. Yeah. No, I'm not a predator.
Okay. Well, my whole thing there is, like I say, it's 36 years old. That's like I say, we've been doing some things out there. So
yeah. I'm totally FBA. My father.
You said it a few times now. We got it. Okay. Like I say, for you, I think a CDL might be in your future.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
I think a CDL would be in your future there, and I think that would give you. It would be something that you could do, and it gives you solitude. So you can start getting some independence and taking on some responsibility. Yep. So I think that would actually be. I think that would actually be up your alley.
I got you, and I listen to you all the time. I don't mean to cut you off, or turn the course, but I've been doing HVAC work, but not certified HVAC. I do HVAC cleaning. If that makes sense.
Okay, well, why is it you haven't gotten certified for it, sir?
Pretty much my uncle. He's the one. He's the one who gets us certified, and we do the cleaning. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay, well, okay. You keep saying no. What I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, why haven't we? Okay, stop. Do not talk over the host. Don't get yourself in trouble.
I got you. I'm here.
My whole point is, if you've been working with HVAC technicians, why come we haven't had a conversation about you getting certified for it?
Honestly, like I said, this is my first time. I call in every once in a while, but this is my first time calling in and actually getting through. But I see all your, all your posts that you go through, but I just never was able to get through to you. But I see what you mean about all your certification and stuff. But I was never brought down that alley, if that makes sense.
Your uncle didn't mention that to you?
No. Because we do cleaning. We don't do the actual, like, servicing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir. I heard you the first time. That's why I'm saying it's like, okay, they didn't say anything about that. That's kind of weird. Somebody was kind of negligent there. But definitely, like I said, that would be the only other option there. But in your case, I'm thinking, I think a CDL might run a little bit better for you.
I got you, man. I appreciate it, Jason. I listen to you all the time, every Friday and every Saturday, even when I'm working, when I am working, I'm always listening to you.
Well, here's what I want you to do. No, you're going into July right now, so there's no reason why you cannot have all that taken care of by no later than September. So I expect to hear. I expect to hear back from you. I expect to hear back from you when you have it.
Okay, I got you. I'll take care of it and I'll call you back.
We'll be waiting.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, I listen to you all.
Then get to it. The time for talk is over. Let's get caller from area code 708. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Sean in Darien, Illinois.
All right, Sean. Are you behind the wheel of your truck right now? It sounds like it.
I got 3 quick things going to close real quick. First thing is, y'all is really mad that Sierra done the modern day Mrs. Huxtable and done it the right way. Y'all really mad about that on the business channel. Yeah, and then number 2 is Tyrod. When is you going to give him the pep talk to cut his losses? He had a relationship with the lady for a year. She won that house. And somebody needs to prepare a pep talk so he can cut his loss on that. And the third thing is these women having all these baby by these celebrities like the Draya and the football dude. They need to be worried about making sure nobody kidnaps them kids and hold them for ransom. So when they lay up with these men and y'all laying up with these incompetent women, y'all need to be worried about the security so nobody hold them kids for ransom money. And then the final thing is basically the media is like Draya and all these people on the Housewives of Atlanta and the BET Awards like Sexy Red. These is brand ambassadors to keep us out here working 9 to 5 to obtain stuff they got. You know, wigs and Teslas and all this. The only way that regular people can get this is working 9 to 5, really.
Sean, you said about Sean, you talked about men with these disreputable women, and I'm just curious, Sean. Would you be a reputable female by any chance?
I wouldn't even want to put myself in that situation because I ain't trying to be.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that if you're telling men is that y'all, this is what y'all get dealing with all these disreputable females. Understood, got it. And I'm just curious, since you're pointing out that all these disreputable females, are you one of the disreputable ones, or are you in fact one of the reputable ones?
It would have to be up to the person that's looking at me like that. I'm not gonna judge myself. It's up to whoever laying up with a nigga. You know what I'm saying? If you laying up with me, you gonna make the final decision on whether I'm incompetent or
okay. But what makes a woman reputable versus disreputable, ma'am? Since you said they needed to stop laying up with disreputable females, obviously you have an idea of it.
I'm gonna tell you, doing it right the first time. If the lady was in love with dude and he bought her a house and the man wants the house back, she should cut her losses. You know what I'm saying? Everybody cut your losses and go on about your way. I mean, and then once you get the house, it ain't gonna work out anyway because it's gonna be too much for you to pay for on your own. Especially with all these kids you gotta feed. You got 3 kids. You're not gonna be able to pay the property taxes, the upkeep. That's a lot of house to be trying to clean up on your own. Even the rent a maid to do it. It's just too much. And you already burning your bridges because now they done put your business out here on the street. So we know you're not good for it. So now you really ain't gonna have nothing. So yeah, I probably am competent. Nah, I don't even want it. You want to take it back? You can have your stuff. Just take it. We good. I'm good. So yeah, cut your losses. You talked about this before. Learn how to cut your losses. Period. Do you really want your kids in this situation? Probably not.
Sean.
Dude probably got more heat than you got. Yes,
Sean,
sir.
if you were with a NFL quarterback, as if could ever happen, and he had you living in a multi-million-dollar house in an exclusive gated community in Los Angeles, you telling me that you would just get up and leave?
Yes, he was the resource to keep it all together. Yes, you can have it. I can't keep it up anyway. Just don't. You can have it. I can't keep it up on my own. I'd already lost dude with the bag. What
okay,
I want
but now she wants to
news.
sue so he can pay for it, so he'll still be the bag, and then she can just sell it later.
And sell it and do what?
She's going
to sell it and do what?
Sell and go lay up with the next nigga?
And then the next nigga going to use and abuse it. You
Really?
can't get no. If she done burn her bridges, she can call dude about anything and probably get it. Most likely she can get it. You done already burnt your bridge and everybody know about it. You can't call nobody for help no more. So we have to weigh the pros and the cons of doing things this way.
Sean, you ain't got a baby. Sean, you don't have a baby daddy yet.
I don't want no baby daddy. I want a real man. I want a baby daddy.
Yeah, you haven't had any kids yet, Sean.
I ain't had no good sex like that lately.
Okay, I didn't ask about it. Okay, TMI, heifer.
I mean, that's the way you get the kids. That's the way you get the kids.
I'm just saying. So, y'all, Sean is single and childless. So she has kept Negroes from getting her in a bind. Now you've seen the attitude she got. You can see how she kept that from happening. So it's so far the plan is working.
I hope the hanky-panky word ain't disrespect the channel. If so, sorry about that. But no, I don't.
Okay, well, like I say, I thought you and Mr. Magic was going to make it there for a minute, so I see it's...
Don't even bring that up, because I don't even want Mr. Magic to call it no way.
Okay, I thought you and him was dipping for life, bad boys for life. I thought it was that for a minute. I had my skepticism.
Yeah, I keep all my people.
Really?
Ain't nobody gonna know where we good.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What you want me to call him on three-way for you? What you got to talk about?
No, because he was so beat down last time. I don't blame him. Like, I feel bad putting him through that. I'm like, ain't nothing working out for him right. So it's just, let me leave him alone. So he can try to figure out how he's going to rectify that situation now. So, Sean, you know damn well, if Russell Wilson gave you half a wink, you would run over everybody on Interstate 30 to get to him. So you know it, but I'm going to let you go ahead and tell this tale.
Tale told. Thank you.
You know it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Y'all know Sean, look here, boy. If anything, if a third string quarterback slid in her DMs, if a third string quarterback slid in her DMs, she would go and get that size 18 camisole. What? She go and get some of them Fashion Nova G-strings. Damn! Y'all know full, it wouldn't even have to be first string. It'd be third string. She's like, okay, it can be second string, third string, G-string. I'm on it. You know it. She got a choice between getting behind the wheel of that Peterbilt. You got a fella sitting up here got funds, don't you know it? Let me get caller from area code 832. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's happening, Jason Black? This is Black Wall Street from Houston.
All right, Black Wall Street from Houston. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Boy, what in the hell? You need to hit that sound effects button right now. Like, oh my God. What did you say it was like 7 different counts, 7 different cases, 7 different motions, or whatever it was you said they were? It's like she put dude on RICO charges. That's how bad it is. Like, she not just double and triple 7 times or whatever. It's just crazy. These hoes turn this professional simp stuff, or I'm not sure what you call it when it's athlete, but they turn this shit into a hustle.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're trying to convert a relation. They're trying to convert a boyfriend and a relationship into a marriage. I mean, that's literally what they're doing. They're trying to, if you get into a relationship, it's like, okay, how can I hold some marriage penalties over you?
Right. And so all the different claims she's coming down with, I mean, like you said, she kept it up for a year. You spot on with that. I heard you mention that before, like, vet these hoes, make sure that they can keep it going. Because after the first year, they probably going to start getting weary. By 2 and definitely by 3, you're going to know who they are. And he obviously didn't do that. I could see him doing this on the strength of him trying to look out for her, thinking that, oh, she's hurting, she's not doing good. Let me try to, give her a step up, and kind of look out for her, whatever, while we dating and kind of see how things go. And he thought he probably had it worked out to where he was going to be able to do what he tried to do, which is, hey, this is not working, I'm going to evict you and blah, blah, blah. But that shit is backfired big time right now. And it's just like, damn, like, I mean, she trying to hit him for, her investment into the property. She trying to hit him for the gain, the equity in the property, the increase in value. She trying to get him for pain and suffering. I mean, damn, it's like she trying to get her reparations right now. I don't understand. Like, she's going after everything, and she trying to put dude, in the. One thing I heard you kept saying when you were reading is that LLC. So it's like they're trying to go after the LLC too.
Well, I mean, the house itself, he's got the house itself under an LLC. However, the LLC is under his control. But that's what that's coming for. So the house is actually an incorporated piece of property. Regardless of that, it's under his control for it. So yeah, it's really not. It's not going to be that easy to protect as you might have thought it was there. Plus, he's been commingling funds like a son of a gun with her. So it's very much vulnerable if a judge sees that, if there's documentation that would seem to imply that they had a done deal. That's the real thing about it, is whether or not it was a done deal and that he is reneged on it. So it's one thing if it was speculative and they didn't make it to the point of it being a done deal. It is another thing if it's established that they got a done deal. From the paperwork that I've read, it is not at all clear that this was consummated in a done deal and that we had made it across that finish line for it. It's not clear to me at all that that's what happened, and that what she was doing was under the understanding that, okay, he is now switched from considering you to buy this house to you're making payments on the house and by this time next year is yours. I haven't read anything that says that. But remember, that's not the era that I need my callers to listen. That's not the era that we're in anymore. I've been covering Cosby and Diddy and Tiger and Kanye to try to make a point to y'all. These women are filing these lawsuits simply as a way of trying to smear your name publicly and put you in a bad light publicly for your image. So they don't have the ability to actually force you to do anything. So they're hoping that if they threaten you with character assassination or putting you in a bad light publicly or hurting your image, that you'll go ahead and give them what they want in order to avoid that. So all the folks laughing about Diddy and stuff, I was warning dudes, that's not good. Men are real stupid and simple-minded about that. The females know what they're doing. They know it's like, okay, how far can we push this line of forcing men to give us benefits that are reserved for a wife that we didn't qualify for being a wife, but how can I get that anyway? That's what's going on now. So this lawsuit, I see I based on what she's filed here, I don't see anything in there that says, that confirms that he made it to the point of, okay, these payments you're making are to buy this place, because she was calling it as rent or leasing. But she's claiming, oh no, I was leasing to own. And I don't see anything yet that says that it went beyond speculation. With that being the case, why would she do that if that's the case? Because you're hoping that if you go out publicly like this, then that'll force him or pressure him to just give you what you want. You know, the way that Diddy gave it to them. The bad publicity, he was more concerned with getting that off the front page than whatever the justice of the situation was. And they've been trying to push this damn line ever since. I was warning people, this is what's coming next. And here we are. This guy has a whole house, and she's like, yeah, I brought me and my kids in while I'm sleeping with another nigga and getting pregnant by him and dropping the load in the middle of your front living room. And you got to leave. Because I don't think my lifestyle, I got this lifestyle being with you, and I don't think it should have to change. That's the problem. And this is not just for pro athletes or entertainers. Any man out there making more than $200,000 a year, this is a proof of concept. This is where we're at. Not 5 years now. We're there right now.
Yeah, well, you calling it left and right, Jay. And I'm glad you mentioned that part about what they trying to do. And I mean, it's like they're rushing what they were saying when they're talking about, she fulfilled her duty because they came back with a counter offer, and then she fulfilled her duties. And it's like they trying to gloss over that, but we gotta remember in contract law there's a due process called fiduciary responsibility, meaning you have to basically put up some money, and that fulfills the agreement of the contract. So that's kind of a tricky thing because she did put a lot of money into it. So I'm not sure with all the details how that's going to work out.
Well, the whole thing is she put money into it, but the question is, did he accept it? Now, there's the only question that we don't have answered. Yeah, even if she can substantiate that she paid a few bills or paid some of the mortgage bills in the house, did he accept that as, okay, we are in transition from me owning the house to you owning the house? Because obviously she was making payments well before they got to this point. She's trying to claim now that, that was towards buying the house. And what I'm saying is, by introducing this, we had a verbal agreement. So in other words, you cannot actually prove that he had accepted your offer. You're just saying he did. But you can't actually prove that he did. And that's what I think we're about to find out is she can't actually prove that he accepted it. You can prove y'all two had conversations, but at some point he decided, yeah, this is not a good deal. And if he's gotten to the point of, first he was saying that you can pay the house, then he was saying you got to get the hell out. That doesn't sound like he ever accepted it. And it sounds like you were trying to hurry up and rush him into a situation before he found out the baby ain't his, which is most likely what occurred. She couldn't hide the pregnancy anymore. The baby is not his, and she knows this is all about to unwind. So let me see if I can put him in a trick bag where he is pressured to go through with this even though he doesn't want to.
Bro, I know you didn't just say that. Oh my God, that just changed the whole, man, that changes the premises of everything. That definitely sounds very highly probable, how things went down. And you're absolutely right though. Can they prove, and that's what we're going to have to see in the court case. I hope his lawyer, his real estate agent, whoever he was consulting while he was setting things up in this way, have him protected. Because I hate to see him getting got just trying to be nice to a chick, whatever like that. And Yeah, I mean, this is we're in this day and age now, though. I mean, I know it's been going on for a long time, but man, it just seems like it's just getting worse. It's just all about that and everything. And
I want fellas to understand that
it's a whole hustle.
Being a man who's not struggling today in this environment, the definition of a man who's not struggling is getting rarer and rarer. There are more men today who are making six figures than ever, but that does not determine whether or not you're really affluent or really struggling today. And the females feel as entitled as ever that they shouldn't have to be making a bead of sweat on anything. So if you're a guy who can fulfill whatever that fantasy or expectation is they have, a lot of these chicks out here today, they've stopped asking politely. So New York, LA, Tiger Woods, Florida, fellas, where there's money moving, they've stopped asking nicely. If you're a guy who can deliver the goods, they're like, you know what? Yeah, if we're going to break up, I'm taking my cut on account of the fact I was here, because it's going to be too damn hard to replace you. It's going to be too damn hard to replace you. Obviously, her situation with Jalen ain't that damn solid because she's still sitting. She just filed a lawsuit against her ex. If you and Jalen are solid, what the hell are you doing with this? Just tell Tyrod, give you your whatever money you put in the house back and keep it pushing. That's not what she's doing. And what I'm saying is that doesn't add up. If she has the money, what she's doing doesn't add up. If Jalen fools with her for real, what she's doing right now really don't add up. It only adds up if you got pregnant by Jalen, but he don't really fool with you like that. And you don't really got the money like that. Tyrod does. And at the very least, well, I can get a house out of it. Fellas, this is where we're at today. This is the age we're in today. Every chick wants to be a star, and she wants you to pay for it. She wants to live an upper lifestyle, and she wants you for you to mortgage it. She wants you to finance it. And now, fellas, if you don't, they're done asking you nicely. It's like, okay, I asked you the first time. Now I'm telling you you're going to pay for it. Or I'm going to accuse you of something. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. She in the discount bin. Dre is going to turn 40. She's 39 now. She's going to turn 40 here. She understands that's not a good number to be yelling out. That's not a good number to be yelling out. So she's like, hey, I got to cash out now while there's still something to be grabbed. She doesn't care how messy. First, she deals with a little old young boy, 21 years old. Now she's going after her ex talking about, hey, nigga, give me that house. Don't you know you're dealing with scandalous broads? Don't you know you're dealing with scandalous broads? She talking about we had a verbal agreement. Do you want to have children with a single mom who's prone to sue you and say y'all had a verbal agreement? Jalen is not paying any attention. Don't worry. When it's his turn, he going to be like PJ Washington with his damn lip poked out. Caller Miracle 302, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Mr. Black? My name is Kenny G from Newcastle, Delaware.
Okay, Kenny G from Newcastle, and what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I actually wanted to call in to actually thank you. I've been listening to your program for quite some time. At the start of this year, I just graduated from my CDL class inside of Newcastle, Delaware. So I wanted to thank you for sparking that idea.
Well, we're glad to hear that. I would like to see, if you will, I'd like to have you email that to me. I'm always glad to be able to confirm those. So definitely, if you have gotten your CDL, I'd like you to go ahead and email that to me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. That's handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. So definitely, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, sir. So I've actually been looking at some of your old archive videos. Like one that I actually kind of related to one was addressing a low-value male or low-value man. So obviously, as I'm growing up, I'm 30 right now. I just turned 30. Obviously, you can't bring a family up on $40,000 a year. I do work for a small family repair company. We just do home remodeling. but I'm actually about to start my new job in 2 weeks as a CDL dump truck driver that pays $80,000. So,
and with
that's
experience,
something
it'll
that
only
at
go
least-
up from there once you have experience. By the way, that's another thing for you to keep in mind there. Okay, because a lot of folks don't understand how that works. In particular, folks really underestimate what happens with dump trucks. For example, when you have any type of development, any type of commercial development, any type of real estate development, you're either taking dirt away or bringing dirt to it. You're bringing gravel to it, asphalt. So even if you own a dump truck, for example, so like I say, there's all kinds of avenues you can do if you own one of those. So certainly if you're learning it, you're buying one, or if you're working for a company and learning how that works, you're going to find there's all kinds of avenues. There's a whole lot of work that they do that folks are just unaware of or don't really think about. So keep your eyes and your ears open. You're probably going to see a couple of sidelines in there for yourself.
Definitely. I have a cousin that's actually an owner operator. He closed in on a $500,000 house. He actually lives across from the baseball player Mike Trout, if you're familiar with him.
Name's kind of familiar. Michael Trout. Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Okay. I know.
Yes, he bought a house inside of, I believe, next to Clayton, New Jersey. And wow, his property is amazing. He was kind of our family member that always stayed in trouble, but he actually cracked down. He travels. He'll go from coast to coast, getting paid by the mile. And he kind of explained to me just like, hey, that program you listen to, you want to stick to listening to him because he's giving you some good advice, to shape yourself as a man and go through with your CDL. So when we went up to do our CDL test, I took it over inside of York, PA, a one and done, one try. They give you, I think like $100 for your first try. You get it a one and done. So it was an amazing experience. So it definitely opened up my lane. Right now, I'm just making short amount of money. I have a vehicle that smokes. This is it's an incredible feeling. I just graduated on June 24th.
Good. Well, like I say, keep your eyes and ears open. Don't just be behind the wheel. Learn the business. Take a look at the contacts. Take a look at the places you're going. You are part of a basically $1 trillion industry. So you don't think of it as a dump truck. I mean, what is in there? What does it do? Why are they doing it? How many other loads are there? I mean, just something as simple as asphalt. Do you all know how much an acre of asphalt costs? How much an acre of how much 100 square feet of asphalt costs? 100 square feet of gravel, 100 square feet of concrete. Do you all have any idea what that is? Doesn't sound like a whole lot. Or doing a driveway, just doing a driveway. Y'all need to go price some of that so you can see what that is. So you have an opportunity to learn from the inside. You can see the contracts and you can see the folks they deal with and networking and things. You have a lot that you can learn if you just pay attention for the next couple of years. You're driving the truck, but be paying attention to where you picked it up from and who you picked it up from and where you took it to and who you dropped it off for and how often does this happen. And there's a whole lot that goes into that. If you're not just driving the truck, if you're paying attention to the industry, there's a whole lot you can learn. The dump truck thing is very underrated. A lot of folks don't think very much of it.
Yes, sir.
Very underrated. Very underrated.
Now, one thing, sir, I was always wondering. So most of the jobs that I see that pay $100,000 or more, they're always asking for, 6 months to a year worth of experience. My thing was, in the next couple of years or so, I want to at least start working on a family. And that would be something where I'm just like, do I either focus on getting the money now and then hitting the road, or do I try to plant my feet inside of Newcastle, Delaware or downstate Delaware and get like a job that, pays well?
All right.
It's like an extra $20,000.
There's 3 questions that every male simply needs to answer to determine what the next move is. Number 1, how old are you?
30.
Okay, you have time. Number 2, how much money do you have saved in the bank?
At least $40,000.
Okay, right now is this time $40,000. Okay, do you have any children?
Yes, sir. No, sir. No
Okay,
children.
so
Yes,
you're
sir.
single, you don't have any children, you got $40,000 in the bank, but you live in the Northeast. So, like I say, I mean, you're certainly not doing badly necessarily, but you don't even have 1 year's income saved up yet.
That's true.
So, my whole thing is, the first question I would ask you here is, why are you in such a hurry? Because it's one thing for a 30, it's one thing for a 30-year-old female to be saying this. You're a 30-year-old male who's just gotten a professional certification that he can use for income. So what are you in such a hurry for? Okay, I got that. Now you're a good woman. Okay, well, why are we in such a hurry?
Yeah, I guess it's like more of No. I guess while you're
where is that? No. Where is that notion coming from? Who's telling you that that's where? Who was it who told you that that's where you're supposed to be right now?
So most of my family is from Chester, PA, in the South, and they usually get married early. So I would think that me dipping off into my 30s would be kind of late.
Okay, well, it's the 21st century here, and you're going to be doing things that they're not doing.
Very true.
I stick by my standard. I will not move from it here. I wouldn't recommend that any male think about getting married until he's in his late 30s and until he's making six figures, because the way you see the world at 30 years old, making five figures, will be radically different when you're 37 or 38 years old, making six figures.
Mm-hmm.
You will see the world radically differently. You will not see it the same. These other folks can sit up here and talk to you about these hypotheticals. Hoes wasn't suing their boyfriends for their house back then. That wasn't what was going on. Whole different ball game here. Plus, I want you to have more life experiences. You know, when you've dealt with enough females so that you see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you see how bad it really can get and really will get, and so you're not naive anymore, now you can start making decisions about permanent attachment to a female because you've dealt with enough of them that they can't really pull nothing over on you. You recognize real quickly, and you recognize fake quickly. But you say the folks in your family. It sounds like a bunch of females, though. Sounds like you primarily got a bunch of females in your family. Okay, that's females who talk like that. That's not really men who talk like that. Yeah. Females talk like that because biological clock. I'm at 30. Okay, yeah, the clock is about to run out for her. Yeah, but for a man to talk that way, that's a different matter. But the bottom line is, if I'm you, I'm trying to have a year's income saved in the bank. I'm really trying to not think about, really deal with any of this. You're trying to get as much of a financial foundation on yourself as you can. Women come and go, but what you do for yourself is what really lasts. Your investment that you make in yourself, that's what really lasts. And don't rush yourself, because a person in a rush tends to just grab whatever they can get and then say, okay, we'll make it work. And I've done tonight's program to show you, hey, that's not a plan.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, check back with me in 6 months. I'd like to see how things are going.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, like I say, fellas, if you're getting your money together, stack your paper, stack your chips, see the world, get some life experiences, then you can start sizing up females. Sitting up here trying to size up a life partner and you haven't lived life yourself, how do you know you're not an easy mark? Every man tells himself he isn't. Every man thinks that he's not an easy mark, but most men are, particularly when a female starts molding you and forming you and shaping you. So spend some time to find out how naive you may be. Deal with a number of different females. Find out if you're just a nice guy who's naive. And then you realize, oh, hell, I got to get that naivete up out of me before I start permanently attaching myself to somebody who could ruin and wreck everything I'm doing. Caller from area code 415. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Marcus from San Francisco.
Okay, Marcus from San Francisco. And what's on your mind?
Hey, I was the guy who called in a while back. I was telling you about, the situation with my mom. I'll get straight to the point. Long story short, this relates to today's topic.
She likes to go camping, but go ahead.
Yeah. It relates to today's topic because she came back to my dad trying to basically saying that she wants out, she wants the money, she wants him to sell everything. But what she didn't realize is a lot of the stuff is either in the business name, it's not in his name or her name, it's in the business name before they got married. So she can't, it's in the trust and it's in a lot of tied up stuff where she can't really get to it out here. So once she realized that that was true, and he told her to go back to where she was all this time, she came to me telling me to talk to Pops about that. And
oh boy,
basically, long story short,
that's not good on her part. If she's trying to get the son to go lobby for her, oh boy, that's the indication that she's lost all of her leverage.
Hey, what happened? Yeah, that's what. Let me just get to. I'm getting this. Gonna get good. What ended up happening? Remember, I told you about the dude she went camping with. Turns out this is a 70-year-old dude, has no pension. He has multiple felonies, hiding from child support. What else is? Oh, he has no bank account.
Okay, now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, is this the dude, the older dude that she been running around with, or is this somebody different?
Yep, same person. We just now find out all the
Okay, so the dude that I told you, his money ain't really like that. And he's just doing some minor things and he just hangs out with her, but he ain't really solid on her like that. So this is the same guy.
Yep.
Okay. Did I call it or did I call it?
Yeah, so he was basically getting a paycheck. So he gets Social Security. So at 68, you can work as much as you want, and you don't have to, report it. They still, give you whatever you're entitled to. So he gets that check, and when she asks him for over a certain amount of money, he basically he ain't good for it. Long story short, and how we found out that he has no bank account and all that stuff is when she asked him to pay for a cruise. And he said he can't get a passport. And when they actually put it on the credit card, he doesn't have a bank account.
Yeah, like I said, so basically he just fly her out or whatever so he can hang out with her and lay up. He's thrown some gestures out there, like a key fob. He's thrown some gestures out there that are intended to mask and camouflage what the real situation is. But like I told you, your mama gonna try to hit him up for some real paper, and he gonna back off of it. What you were saying then before told me, and she gonna try to hit him up for some real paper, and he gonna start easing back. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
But it's kind of funny. Oh, sorry. It's kind of funny you say that because he still wants to hang around her. Because she complains about him. Now she's talking shit and complaining about him. Huh?
Duh. Bruh, I mean, that's the way it's going to be for the rest of females eventually stop being totally stupid and realize, oh, a nigga going to want to lay up with me for the rest of my life. There's always going to be some dude somewhere who is willing to have sex with you. Regardless of your age. I mean, we already did that program. But for a female, regardless of your age, there will always be a man looking to lay up with you. You are available. You are convenient. It ain't really got to do with attraction after a certain point. You are available and convenient. Bro, why wouldn't he? So yes, as long as she is still able to be had sex with and she's convenient, you right here. Why should he drive all over town when she's right there? So yes. He wants to make sure this is like the male version of having an orbiter. Her money ain't right. She really needs somebody who can patch some holes together. He knows she just about the bag. He knows her money ain't right. And she really just looking for a dude to pay for something. So he knows that's his leverage. So he knows it's also limited. So he's using it as strong as he can. But he just wants sexual access to her. Because he's not really he ain't really got it all stacked up together to have what he really would like to have anyway. So she is the best he can do. And he has pretty much given her as much as he's either willing or able to give, but she's the best he can do. So yes, he wants to make sure she's still circling around because every time he has to meet a new female, that's introducing another round of scrutiny. Every time you meet a new chick, okay, we got to answer all these questions all over again. And especially as women get older, women are more suspicious. They're more scrutinizing as they get older, and they're harder to fool. So if your mama is she's not hard to fool, but she's just in need. So your mom is in need. It's like, okay, well, I ain't really got to have game. She in need. Now she's starting to hit him up and say, hey, we need to fix this need thing. And he's not really doing that, but he still wants to have sexual access to her. So the only thing that would scare him is if your dad started acting like he was going to let that woman come back. Now, if that happened, then old boy would probably see it differently. But as long as that's not occurring, he's like, well, hell, I'm the only option you really got. Your husband ain't going to come back, and old as you is only thing. Once a female gets to a certain point, once a female has gotten to a certain point chronologically and socially, all she can get is an older dude who she hopes his money doesn't mean anything to him. So when once they become middle-aged single moms and 50-year-old single moms and all this old stuff here, they got to go look for a nigga that's in his 60s or 70s. So he's got to be 15, 20, 30 years older than her. So she's not young anymore, but she young to him. But nah, bro. No, it's breaking down exactly the way I said it would. She went to go find some old dude, and he doesn't have a bunch of options, and he's really just having recreation with her. And she was hoping, basically you got two folks, and this is the situation. You got two folks trying to outmaneuver and play each other. Your mama's kind of cutthroat, and you got two people trying to outmaneuver each other. She in it for herself, so she trying to outmaneuver him. But old dude is in it for himself, and he can see what she is because he's old enough. He's dealt with a bunch of them like her. So he's looking out for himself. And what do you know? She found out it wasn't as sweet as she thought it was. Or at least she hoped it was. And all she can really do is go back out there in them streets and go find another him. It's not like it's not like there's some dude who's all papered up looking for a 50-something-year-old chick to throw it at. That's not the case. Might be an 80-year-old. But she's not prime real estate to anybody. So if she does, all she's going to do is get back out there in the streets and find another one. And we can do this all over again.
Oh, that's why that's what I'm saying. I found all this because still asking me for money and but she realized she ain't gonna get no money out of him. Because he threw, my dad, he got mad. He's mad as hell. He's like ready to throw it away. He's like, she ain't gonna get nothing. And, he's like that. And what she didn't know, because she wasn't involved in finances, is he had all that stuff in different names, the whole marriage. All she thought was a house. And she was asked, like you were telling before, she has access. She didn't ask questions. She never did. And, so yeah. And also one more thing I wanted to ask you before I get off the phone with you. This guy that she got, even though he turned out to be not a piece of crap, but is that the best she could do?
Obviously, it's the best she can do. If she could do better, why ain't she with better? So obviously, it's the best she can do.
What I mean by that is, could she go out there and try again, or was she like females? Do they at some point just throw in the towel?
I meant what I said. She's gonna have to go. She's gonna make it back. She's gonna have to go back out there because the dude that she's with right now, the benefits package ain't big enough. He can't really do nothing but hang out with her, but he's not a game changer. So he's not a viable replacement for your father, not even casually. So she's looking to make that leapfrog and monkey branch to a better spot. And this guy's cool to hang out with for short periods of time. But what he isn't is a new life. Now that he isn't. She needs that now because she doesn't have your father anymore. And times is tough and you're in California, so it's just whooping your ass. So no, she needs to find a replacement for your dad. If she hasn't found it, she's going to have to get back out there in them streets and hot-foot it and try to track it down. So I'm not going to guarantee you that she'll find it. I'm going to guarantee you that she's going to have to try. And she's hella old now to be out there trying to throw elbows with them young gals. She's starting to look like Vivica Fox, but I'm just letting you know this is math at work. So just get ready to see your mama doing some real janky stuff here. And it's like, oh, mom, who is this nigga? How old is he again? Oh, he's missing a leg. Just get ready for that. Your mama is in full-blown survival sex mode. That's where she at. She's not attracted to any of these men. She's looking for a safe place to land. And that guy's not a safe place. She can't really land here. So now she is going to go back. She's going to have to go back out there and go find somebody who's viable because she hasn't found it yet.
What I was saying is, how come she just didn't stay here? She was comfortable and happy here, obviously.
No, she wasn't.
I guess she wasn't happy, but
no, she was not. No, she was not. Truth of the matter is,
and
that's
I
what I
don't know
told you.
Make her happy.
Well, probably neither does she. I mean, when you're looking for when you're talking to a person who's selfish, it's never enough. It doesn't make sense to you, but that's the way it is. When you're dealing with a selfish person, it's never enough. The answer is never enough. What you give them is never enough. They always want more. If you give them everything, they still want more than that. So it's like trying to drown an ocean. You don't have the ability to please them. If you do everything they say, they're still unhappy. If you defy them, they're unhappy. If you do everything they say, they're unhappy. Or they're never permanently happy. Let's try it that way. They are content for a little while. Then they get bored or whatever. Then they start taking what they're at for granted. And then next thing you know, that character flaw that they have of never being satisfied, it rears its head again. And then next thing you know, the person that they were so, quote, happy with, they're not happy with you now. Things they never talked about before. All of a sudden, there they are. So those are warning signs for a person to watch out for early. Your mom obviously had these warning signs way early on. Your dad, for whatever reason, took her in. And it's just like, and it didn't get any better. You know, so decades later, it's like, okay, she's supposed to be more settled down than she's ever been. And now she's more out here in them streets than she's ever been. And that really, having the ability to do that matters to her more than anything else. Obviously, she made it into her 50s and she's doing this. This is what she really wants. And she's got some fantasy that there's some mystical, magical Negro out there somewhere who is going to fulfill all that for her and give her the financial stability that she wants, but also the excitement and social stuff there. It's like, basically your mama's trying to move like she's 25 and she's 55. And she doesn't want to accept that. And your dad was too stodgy or too, not exciting enough or whatever. And she either got tired of that life or she never actually wanted it in the first place. That was just the best she thought she could do then. And she's been sitting there resentful the whole time. Your dad wasted all these years. He wasted all my good years and whatnot. I could have been with somebody else. So she jumped out there and tried to do it, and it's not working. So she better start browsing a nursing home and see if she can find some 75, 78-year-old nigga. See if she can do that. Because like I said, unless she's a dime in that regard, or unless she finds some sad sack who just needs a caretaker, a bunch of old fellas out here and whatnot, and if she finds one who's lonely enough, you're in California, man. If she's in California and she's got a certain lifestyle that she's been dreaming about living and stuff, and she's demanding to have a fellow who can do that, because that's why she wanted that dude. That was what you and I were talking about that before. She's looking for a guy who's got a bunch of disposable income left over that he can just drop on her. So she wants him to already have it. She doesn't want to have to earn being worthy of it, and she just wants him to go ahead and drop it off when she gets there. So all she got to do is just sit there and it gets dropped off. And it's like, all the hoes are trying to find that dude. There's competition is already stiff for that fellow. All of them trying to find him. So the odds are overwhelmingly against it, especially with her attitude. But she's going to be back in these streets here in just a minute. Truth be told, she never left. But no, dude, she hasn't been happy with the whole thing. I'm not going to go too far into it because, like I said, I don't know how many levels of unhappy it is. Maybe she was unhappy being a wife. Maybe she was unhappy being a mother. Maybe she was unhappy having both. Maybe she thought the outcome would be different or the results would be different. Maybe it was all those. Maybe it was one of those things or all those things. But I do know that once that starts, it doesn't end.
Oh no, I can answer that because she's old. Like you just said, you're absolutely right. You would buy her something, and then 5 days, a week later, she'd be wanting something else. It was just always another big hurdle for him to clear over these years. Even when I was a child, I remember the arguments, and I remember this stuff. And as far as what she was unhappy about, she was unhappy because she felt that she had to take care of everybody else and nobody who's going to look out for me now. It's all about me. Like you said, the selfishness, me. I had to do this for everybody, and now it's my turn.
Yeah, that's the way that, that type of selfishness works. They always claim that they're looking out for everybody else. And in reality, they're really just there for what they can get of themselves. The mistake that your dad made is that your mom has her good days or good times about it. Yeah, but fellas, I don't care how great the sex is or how great the cooking is. When you have a female who cannot be pleased, at some point, the sex and the cooking and everything else is going to dry up too. Because it must. So eventually she's going to get to a point of being so, quote, unhappy that she doesn't do any of the things she used to do. Now she's just she goes from being occasionally a problem to being constantly a problem. You can't be so dog-ass dehydrated and desperate that you accept that and then try to make a life with it and say, okay, we'll manage that. No, you won't. You need to distance yourself from it because this is eventually going to bite you. It has to. You're putting all your eggs in a basket that doesn't have a bottom on it. You can't deal with women from a standpoint of good faith. You can't have a good faith relationship. You have to know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Mark my words. She's going to be out there for a little bit longer here, but mark my words. And this guy she just ran into, that's where her judgment got her. She's going to try to tweak the formula. She'll tweak it a little bit. It won't be radically different the next time because, the tools she's got are the tools she's got. She's going to go try to find another old dude who she hopes his money don't mean nothing to him because she can't wait 10 years for a man to deal with her properly. She has to find a sucker and she got to find him now.
There's not very many productive. So she's looking for an old productive simp then.
When a female is out of options, yes, her ideal scenario is to find a productive simp, a guy who he works like an alpha, but he's got a beta social status, so he'll accept her. Because a man who's really got it wouldn't accept her. He'd go get him a young chick who matches his productivity. So they're looking for a guy who produces like an alpha, but he's got the social status of a beta, so he'll go ahead and accept her. As opposed to tell her, hey, baby, you don't qualify. And
so yeah, that's how I had to know.
Well, that one seems to work out as well too until she gets to know you and gets comfortable with you, and then what do you know? Now she's giving you a hard time too. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you're right. Partner dude doesn't seem to want to go away, and even though she's done blocked him, well, she said she did, and he calls her friend trying to get at her. The one I told you that she stays with the auntie and their friend, and yeah, so. His money ain't straight, yeah. Because like I said, you made absolutely right. Why would he want a 60-year-old woman? He's 78 years old. He would want a 30, 40-year-old. He wouldn't want.
It's a bunch of lacking niggas in California. It's a bunch of lacking old niggas in California like that. California has a lot of old niggas lacking funds and never got their lives together properly. They got a car and some jewelry. These old niggas from the 80s and 90s. California's actually got a pretty good number.
90 seconds.
California's actually flush with old niggas like that. It actually is. So that's why it's so easy to keep running into them. California's got plenty of those. Plenty of them. And she's now on her way to find the next one. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, buddy, you can't choose from the options you wish were available. You can only choose from the options that actually are. She is a treacherous woman, and because she's a treacherous woman, she has been unable. She isn't really able to get somebody who's for real to fool with her. You're a treacherous woman. You're going to get treacherous people to deal with you. You're a dishonorable woman. The only kind of person who will deal with you is a dishonorable person or a fool. Neither one of those is good to have. Caller from area code 774. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 774. Last try. You're on live. All right, caller from area code 774 has been abducted. Fellas, when these chicks are skidding towards the discount bin, when they wind up getting tossed in, I want y'all to understand it's a new day. It is too damn hard to find a man whose papers, stack straight, transform your life straight. So fellas, today, they saying that we can make you a lawsuit husband. Okay, if I can't make you a legal husband, you're just a boyfriend, let me make you a lawsuit husband. Let me turn this child support into alimony. Oh, I'm not entitled to 50% of the house? Okay, well, let me put up a little bit of money so I can argue for you to get out from under this house. This is where we are today, fellas. Survival sex leads to treachery. And that's why I wanted to go over the documents with you all so you can see exactly what it is. This is really happening. This is really happening. In the chat room, Rich says, how does a man operate without a bank account? It's just, there's plenty of folk. There are plenty of people out there who are unbanked. They just deal in cash. There's plenty of folks out there who are unbanked. That's always been an issue. The problem is there's a ceiling on it. The problem is there's a ceiling. I want every man out there to understand. You thought this was just a Diddy problem. You telling yourself, oh, well, don't worry. As long as I don't do X, Y, Z, we'll be okay. You thought it was a Diddy issue. I'm just warning you. Don't be simple-minded. The discount bin is turning into a pit of vipers. Everywhere you go. So fellas, keep building, keep stacking. But I'm telling you, take your time. Do not get into anything permanent. Don't let them do something that could be permanent. Right now, they're trying to catch anything they can catch, grab anything they can grab, drag anything they can drag. Fellas, I'm warning you. Listen or don't listen. It's up to you. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program. PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo here. My man Black Voltron, thank you very much for your support. New channel member G Love, Chief Rocka at 8 a.m. We appreciate that as well here. Sir Shy, last train leaving, dude. They miss it. And if you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. That gives you the insight and analysis, the 720 degrees of comprehensive information you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you have not been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every weekend, 12 noon Central Time. You are more than welcome to join us as well. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.